You're watching Capital One Bowl Mania.
Welcome to the famous Idaho Potato Bowl as part of Capital One Bowl Mania. For 25 years, the Blue Turf in Boise has hosted a pre-Christmas bowl game, and we've got a good one today. The 8-4 Eagles of Eastern Michigan out of the MAC, and the 7-4 San Jose State Spartans out of the Mountain West. It's like going back in time 35 years, these teams meeting for the first time since the 1987 California Bowl, the only bowl win in Eastern Michigan history. Hi again, everybody, and happy holidays. Welcome to Boise. Alongside my partner, Rocky Boyman, I'm Clay Matvick. Don Davenport will be with us shortly. In the 3.5 decades, Rock, since these teams first met, more down years than up years for both programs. That's starting to change. You look at San Jose State, they're going for win number 8 today behind an exciting offense.
It really is, and it is a true pass-first offense. They like to sling this ball around. Quarterback Chevin Cordero is a true distributor, likes to just get that ball out of his hands all over the field, but the guy he likes to distribute the ball to the most is Elijah Cooks, and for good reason. Elijah Cooks, 6'4", 215 pounds. Just throw the ball up to him, and he's going to have a chance to go get it out there. They've connected 63 times on the season, and again, he's just a physical mismatch for most defensive backs out there. He's got to have a big game here today if San Jose State wants to remain explosive.
A couple of transfers. The quarterback, a Hawaii transfer, the big receiver, a transfer from Nevada. So Eastern Michigan will have its hands full on defense, a defense that has really found its groove since midseason. And they've got Jose Ramirez, the defensive end, the conference defensive MVP.
Yeah, Eastern Michigan cannot allow Cordero just camp back there and pick him apart. So it's going to be up to Jose Ramirez. As you mentioned, Clay, the MAC Defensive Player of the Year. 12 sacks on the season. He's a guy, he'll line up way wide, that wide 9 position, speed rush up the field, got a great counter move underneath, but either way, he has got to be disruptive, and San Jose State has got to know where number 4 is at all times.
On offense, Eastern Michigan relies on its strong run game. You say strong, you got to say Samson. Samson Evans is the guy.
Absolutely. He really does a good job of leading this ground attack. And Evans is a guy, he's not going to take any negative yardage rushes. He always seems to find a crease and be moving that ball forward. And Eastern Michigan definitely wants to establish that run here today early.
And the Eagles have used 2 quarterbacks this year. For more on that, let's go down to Don.
Well, Clay, Senior Taylor Powell started the last 2 games for them. He will get the nod today. Austin Smith, not 100% healthy. He will not be available. Now, Powell is completing 65% of his passes. And head coach Chris Creighton told me that it's his football IQ and his preparation that has him playing at a high level. It's been a road for Powell. He transferred twice, took a season off to coach quarterbacks at his old high school, then suffered a torn PCL last year at Troy. Guys, he told me this week he wants to end his crazy college career helping this program to do something they haven't done in 35 years. That's win a bowl game.
And they'll try to do that today in Boise. Don doesn't want to hear this, because she's got a different opinion on it. But I'm going to tell you, the weather's not too bad here today.
Not too bad, that's right.
It's cool, but
says the guys in the booth. Come on.
There is a chance of snow later. Eastern Michigan won the toss. They deferred to the second half, so San Jose State has it first, and we've got our first penalty flag of the game. As the return came across the 25-yard line.
Looked like it was a face mask on that open kick there.
Nate Black is our lead official, crew out of the American Conference.
Personal foul, face mask. Kicking team, 15-yard penalty, first down.
So Eastern Michigan, most penalized team in the MAC, taking their 102nd penalty on the year, gives San Jose State good field position to start this drive. And here comes Cordero.
And here he is. Again, he's a distributor. He's like a point guard out there. Just finds the open guy and really does a good job getting that ball out of his hand quick. They'll spread the field out, try to get that defense isolated out there, and he'll go to work.
Almost 2,900 yards passing, 28 total touchdowns, only 4 interceptions. He has been incredibly efficient. He wants to go to the air right away, and he's going to take a deep shot. Looking for his man, it's Isaiah Hamilton. Caught for a big gain on the first play from scrimmage. 37 yards.
And if you're Eastern Michigan, all week you're hearing, we got to stop Elijah Cooks. Where's Elijah Cooks? We got to double him. And all of a sudden, Isaiah Hamilton opens this game up with a huge catch.
Hamilton, just his 7th catch of the year, but a huge one to start this bowl game out right for the Spartans. And now another flag. I think we had some motion on the left side of the offensive line.
False start. Offense, number 79. 5-yard penalty. First down.
And the offensive line, Rocky, has been the biggest concern all season long for San Jose State.
Absolutely. They've had some injuries and have certainly given up a ton of sacks on the year. 127th in the country.
That's Fernando Carmona, the redshirt freshman out of Las Vegas. One of 2 redshirt freshmen starting at tackle this year for the Spartans. Kyrie Robinson in the backfield. First down at 15 after the penalty. Here's Cordero ranging out to his left, and that's going to be off the hand of Elijah Cooks, who we talked about moments ago. Again, their biggest offensive weapon. How many touches do you expect him to get here today?
I think they've got to try to get the ball to him 12, 14 times. I mean, he has got to be a big factor, as he has all season. He's like a basketball player. He's got that power forward size, and he'll body up against those smaller defensive backs, and that ball is his. Once that thing's in the air, he has to find a way of coming down with it.
Second down at 15 from the 27-yard line, opening drive of the game. Jernigan in motion. And another flag. Cordero avoids the sack. He steps up, and the dual threat finds the seam. To the corner. There goes Cordero, and he's in the end zone. But there is a flag down, and we'll see if this is coming back.
Offside. Defense, number 19. That plays decline. Result of the play, touchdown.
So it will count for Chevin Cordero, his 9th rushing touchdown of the year.
And we mentioned this is a pass-first offense, and they don't run the ball a lot, but the element they do have in the run game is Cordero just scrambling around. You can see how good he is at it. Just great vision, a hard guy to find out there. Does a great job, especially once that ball gets inside about the 15-yard line like that.
The weak side linebacker, Joe Sparacio, was offside. He was coming in on the blitz. And Cordero, even with that extra head start for the speedy Boston College transfer, ran right by him.
And that's interesting because Eastern Michigan does not traditionally blitz a lot. And if you got a quarterback like Cordero scrambling around like that, they're going to blitz even less.
Well, Terran Shive gets the extra point through, even though it was tipped. So it's 7-0 San Jose State. There is Brent Brennan in his 6th year at San Jose State, 49 years old, a San Jose area native. He's brought the program back in recent years, won the program's first Mountain West title in 2021, and he's got him back in the postseason. He's got to like this start.
Absolutely, and this is just a play breaking down, and as a quarterback in college football, in 2022, you got to be able to find a way to make a play. Defenses are going to have a great coverage. They're going to have a good scheme. But when things break down, that can be just so demoralizing for a defense. And Cordero has done a great job of that all year.
San Jose State, like I said, won the Mountain West a couple of years ago, fell back to 5-7 last year. Now their 2nd bowl game in 3 years. As you look at Chris Creighton, who's also done a great job in Ypsilanti, his 9th year at Eastern Michigan, 53 years old. I mean, that program was a college football afterthought before he took over, and he's got that program back on the map. And now we'll see what Eastern Michigan can do for a response, as they will set up at the 27-yard line after that return by Jalen Jackson. So let's bring out Taylor Powell, who started his career at Missouri, played 1 year at Troy, now in his final game at Eastern Michigan.
Yeah, as Don mentioned earlier, he's had a very interesting career. You know, just the trials and tribulations of being a college quarterback. It's not an easy business, but Taylor Powell has done a good job, especially the latter half of the year. His first 3 games of the season, 5 interceptions. The last 5 games, just 2, doing a better job taking care of that football.
Hassan Beydoun goes in motion. He'll set up in the slot. And they're going to run it with Evans on the first play, and that's what he does. Just a power back good carry on first down. He'll get 7 before Matu brings him down.
Well, and it's a little bit easier to run the ball when you're running behind this offensive line that Eastern Michigan has. You look across the board, all 300-pounders. City So, the left guard, 6'5", 326. Sampson just ran right behind him, and that's always a good idea. Look how big that guy is.
4th bowl appearance for So. And again, it's Evans, and he's going to have a first down. The former Iowa Hawkeye moving the chains for the first time for the Eagles.
Rocky, you mentioned that offensive line. Taylor Powell told me this week they are the key to his success. Treats him to dinner every week. And here's the deal. You know, he spent 2 years in the SEC at Missouri, had a legit O-line there in 2019. But this group, he said, is the best he has played with. Called them super tough, humble. That experience paying off for that group.
It's always a good idea to keep those guys fed and watered, too, up front.
On first down, Powell is chased and he's stripped. Ball is loose. Who's got it? San Jose State thinks they do. Kyle Harmon knocked it loose, and I believe he recovered it. And now penalty flags flying down on the field. Kyle Harmon, 3-time first-team All-Mountain West, maybe with the big disruptive play here early for San Jose State. It is number 45 who had the football.
Well, we mentioned Jose Ramirez, the defensive end for Eastern Michigan, but San Jose State.
It's a fumble recovered by the defense. After the play was over, there were fouls by both teams. Personal foul, number 76 for Eastern Michigan, number 22 for San Jose State. Those fouls will offset. First down.
Big break for the Spartans.
Well, San Jose State has a great defensive end, but this is just a nice cross dog stunt between the nose tackle and Kyle Harmon, the 3-time All-Mountain West linebacker. Just does a great job shooting that A-gap, and when you come through and you're free to the quarterback, tomahawk that arm down, pop that ball out, and a huge play early on here for San Jose State.
So now Chevin Cordero and the Spartans leading by a touchdown. Start at the 26-yard line of Eastern Michigan. And Robinson will get the toss sweep. And he'll pick up 3, maybe 4. Rocky, one of the biggest things we were going to be looking for today, who was going to win the turnover battle? And lately, it has been a decided advantage for San Jose State, regardless of who they're playing.
Yeah, I mean, they've been phenomenal. They only have 6 turnovers the entire season. But as you can see, Eastern Michigan doing a pretty good job of late taking that ball away. I mean, just any football games comes down to turnovers. But, man, it's just amazing how well San Jose State has done taking care of the ball this year.
And now Cordero to the outside. Nice adjustment there by Cooks, but he's pushed out of bounds, and it'll be incomplete.
Well, you can see the plan with Cooks, as I talked about. He's like a power forward. He uses that size, and he'll just body up to that defender and a good throw back shoulder like that. You'll see that a bunch today. Unfortunately out of bounds, but it's not the last time we're going to see that type of throw.
He has already had one great career game here at the famous Idaho Potato Bowl. That was in 2019 against Ohio. Almost had 200 yards receiving on 14 catches. So 3rd down and 6. Cordero getting roughed up in the backfield as the Eagles get home for the first time. Number 94, Peyton Price, the sophomore defensive tackle. And it's 4th down.
And you get Ramirez coming off the offense's right side. You see him down the bottom of your screen. He's going to force Cordero to step up, but then a great job of having those interior guys pressing that pocket. That's what you see a lot. You got to get those speed rushers to get upfield, force the quarterback up into that line, and then those defensive tackles got to press that pocket. That was textbook. And Ramirez is just a phenomenal player. I mean, 4 games into the season, he had 0 sacks. He had 12 in the last 7.
Taryn Shive misses from 46 yards away. And San Jose State, after the turnover, can't turn it into points. It's 7-0. Tough is the team motto for Eastern Michigan. Chris Creighton calls his program the Factory. And they break through that cinder block wall coming into every game, and the players just eat it up. Let's take a look at today's Players Spotlight, brought to us by famous Idaho potatoes. And nobody tougher on that Eastern Michigan sideline than City So.
Two-time All-MAC, first team this past year here, 55th career start today. Big number 62 gets it done.
Slinging it to the outside is Powell. He's complete. And that's going to be about a 5-yard pickup for Poska, the tight end. So, like I said, his 4th bowl appearance. One of 3 Eagles playing a record 4th bowl game today. Like I said, Eastern Michigan hasn't had a great tradition over the years. And City So is a rare bird.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, just to get a guy with that level of experience. But I mean, there's 4 of their 5 offensive linemen are graduates, so a lot of balls been played by that line up there.
Evans is going to be stacked up. That's going to be 3rd down as Cade Hall, the program record 55th game for the big defensive end for San Jose State. There he is, number 92.
Well, we talked a little bit about Junior Fayoko, who's the Mountain West Defensive Player of the Year. Cade Hall was the Mountain West Player of the Year a couple of years ago, and you talk about disruptive. And he'll line up as an end, he'll line up as an interior defensive lineman, and he just creates havoc up there.
Number 1 3rd down offense in the MAC this year, trying to convert and almost intercepted in and out of the hands of Harmon, who already has 1 takeaway today for the Spartans.
I'll tell you what, Kyle Harmon is feeling it. Great job reading the quarterback's eyes. And a great break on the ball. 3-time All-Mountain West player himself, 434 career tackles. There you see Harmon, look, he just pops out of that line, doesn't hesitate. He knows right where Taylor Powell is trying to go with that football. Almost makes a huge play.
Isaiah Hamilton is going to go back to return this punt from Mitchell Thomas. First team All-MAC punter. Gets it away, it's a wobbly kick. And it's going to be out of bounds near the 40-yard line. So really good field position. Actually, the 45. That's where that sailed out of bounds. So San Jose State has it up a touchdown. Just a 19-yard punt for Thomas.
The famous Idaho Potato Bowl is brought to you by famous Idaho potatoes. Always look for the Grown in Idaho seal. And Dollar General. Save time, save money every day.
Back in 1987, San Jose State, 17-point favorites over Eastern Michigan. Jim Harkema's Hurons, as they were known back then, pulled the upset 30-27. Only 10-win season in program history for Eastern Michigan. And San Jose State, in this edition of this short rivalry, just 2 games, leading 7-0. Already the 3rd possession for the Spartans. We're not even 6 minutes in.
A lot of back and forth here, and tell you what, Chevin Cordero has been impressive though so far.
Rushing touchdown for the quarterback. This is Nick Nash, the backup quarterback last year, who has moved to wide receiver. He takes that snap. And a little wrinkle there from the offense. 20-yard pickup.
And a great wrinkle. Again, San Jose State is a pass-first offense. They throw the ball up in the air a lot. So what do you do? Try to keep a defense off balance. You bring in the Wildcat quarterback and Nash, and it's a nice game.
Made 6 starts last year at quarterback. Moved to wide receiver this year mid-season. Able to contribute on a nice play there for the 1st down. And now back to Cooks from Cordero. And Elijah Cooks with his first reception. That's a gain of 7. Let's go down to Don.
Yeah, guys, San Jose State safety Trey Jenkins headed into the injury tent, clearly in a lot of pain, didn't put a lot of weight on his right ankle. Guys, he's having a career year for the Spartans, so that's something to keep an eye on when they come back on defense.
Yeah, that's a big blow. That's huge. I mean, he's the man back there. But on offense, it's Elijah Cooks, as we've talked about. And Eastern Michigan is going to play a lot of man-to-man coverage. We'll see how that turns out for him here versus a guy like Cooks.
After the 1st down reception for Cooks, they go back to the ground, and Robinson, nice run. And lowers his shoulder, gets inside the 20 to the 18-yard line. I mean, the run game is not big for San Jose State, but they do get Robinson involved a lot of ways.
It's funny, when I'm watching tape on them this week, yeah, they don't run the ball out. When they do, they're effective at it. So it's like, well, maybe we should do this a little more, and they've done a good job here today. Here's another one.
And he spins inside the 10-yard line. Fewest rushing attempts in the Mountain West this year for these Spartans. With Robinson coming off a career-high 148 yards on 24 carries against Hawaii in the regular season finale, trying to follow that up as their first down and goal now. Robinson again feeling his way. Tries to find the edge, and he'll be down just short of the 8-yard line.
Well, the other thing establishing a run does is it really neutralizes Jose Ramirez. We talked about him, the MAC West Defensive Player of the Year, a sack artist, 12 sacks on the season. Well, they're running away from him, and then by not putting the ball in the air and dropping your quarterback back, it just really limits his effectiveness out there. So it's a really good game plan. We'll see if they can keep up with it.
Second down and goal to go. The dual threat Hawaii transfer, throwing to the end zone. He's got a man, and that is caught. Touchdown, Justin Lockhart. There's a flag in the end zone, too. Lockhart made the catch. Joshua Scott, the nickelback, was there in coverage. Now there is a flag. Let's see if this is going to hold up for the Spartans.
There's a flag, and then also did he get 1 foot in bounds? At first glance, it looked like that might have been a toe heel out of bounds situation.
The ruling on the field is an incomplete pass. Pass interference. Defense. Number 2. By rule, the ball will be placed at the 2-yard line and an automatic first down.
They said number 2, but we're pretty sure it was Joshua Scott for the pass interference.
And Joshua Scott is one of the best cover guys for Eastern Michigan's defense.
Pass is under further review.
Now they're going to look at it again.
Let's take a look at it. They're fighting for the ball, one hand. Let's try to take another look and see if we get.
Well, I don't know. I think he was in.
I think he was in. It's just a matter, did he have complete possession of the ball? I think so. I think this is going to be a catch. That toe in, he'll come down in the end zone.
I think
great one-handed catch.
I think he almost got 2 feet in, Rock.
Yeah.
I'll tell y'all, Lockhart is telling his teammates down here it was a catch right at his waist. He said, I got it.
Well, and Lockhart is a guy that he's had some drops in some critical situations this year, and Coach told us his confidence has been affected. And I'll tell you what, there's a surefire way to get some confidence back, and that's go make a one-handed catch for a touchdown. That'll get it done.
A replay official today is Rick Jackson and the crew from the American Conference. He's looking at it right now. We'll see if this is overturned. Ruled on the field an incomplete pass. Here's the call.
After further review, the receiver had firm control of the ball with his right foot down in bounds. By rule, this is a touchdown. The pass interference penalty will be declined. Try for point.
First receiving touchdown of the year for Justin Lockhart, and the first touchdown pass of the day for Chevin Cordero.
Yeah, and Lockhart, an explosive guy, probably the fastest guy on the team. And like I said, he's been productive here and there, but just had some drops. And I'll tell you what, he looked. How about that for confidence? You walk around, he's got the belt, he's got the big touchdown catch. He's shining out there.
Only 4 advantage transfer wide receivers on this San Jose State roster. And now Terran Shine comes on for the extra point to make it 14-0. It's blocked. And Eastern Michigan has a chance to return this. Coming back the other way. Tristan Hines He comes all the way back to the end zone for the two-point conversion.
And it was right up the gut. It looked like it was Sterling Miles, defensive lineman, came right up the gut.
Return for a successful two-point conversion. Timeout on the field.
And now that's a momentum changer. And again, this is a good job by Lockhart here, securing the catch. But then Eastern Michigan coming back in this thing with the block, take it all the way back for the touchdown. They get a little momentum back. Now it's up to their offense to see if they can get something going.
Back here in Boise, the third block PAT this season for Eastern Michigan. They return it for two. Tristan Hines brings it all the way back. It's 6:36 to go here in the first quarter. Interesting start to this game as the Eagles get sent to go back on offense. They'll start at the 26. Let's take a look at the Bowl Challenge Cup standings brought to us by Progressive. It's been a good start for the Mountain West in bowl play. They still have 5 bowl games remaining. The Sun Belt doing well. And you can see the MAC 0-1 so far.
Yeah, Sun Belt really getting it done. Exciting game. Troy taking down UTSA. Watch that game. Marshall took down UConn.
Eastern Michigan almost blocked the first PAT for Terran Shine. They were able to muscle it through, but they got the second one. And even though they're down a couple of scores, it feels like they got some momentum off that play.
There's no doubt about it.
Now here's Samson Evans. Again, another strong run on first down.
I mean, San Jose State's getting it done on offense and defense, but their special teams is hurting. They missed a field goal, and then they give up a blocked extra point for a two-pointer.
See Samson Evans, last 4 games has really been the workhorse. Trying to throw here, though, is Powell. He'll slide out of the pocket to the right. Looking downfield, he'll just lob it out of play. Incomplete. As Noah Lavulo, the defensive end out of Burlingame, California, was in pursuit.
We'll see if Powell can take advantage of Trey Jenkins being out, the San Jose State safety.
This has been a tough defense to move the football on, Rock, when they've been able to get pressure on the quarterback. Now, again, they had to prepare for 2 quarterbacks, thinking that maybe Austin Smith would play today. Doesn't seem likely.
No, this defense does a great job disguising things, too. They really give a different picture to the quarterback before that ball is snapped.
Powell uncorks the pass downfield again. He has a man caught at the 35. Dylan Drummond trying to angle his way toward the end zone, and he slips down just short of the 10-yard line. But a 59-yard hookup, Powell to Drummond.
Dylan Drummond is the vertical threat on this offense, and we saw why. He's the guy that has the speed that can get behind the defender. A nice big chunk yardage play for Eastern Michigan. Here they go.
And they're going with some tempo. These are handed back off to Evans. To pick up 3.
We talked about take advantage of the secondary with Jenkins being out. Nice job getting that ball out of his hand before the pressure can get there. I'll tell you, watch Terry Powell on tape. He makes some pinpoint throws. That was another one.
65% completion rate for Powell. Again, his 3rd stop in his college career. Missouri, Troy, and now Eastern Michigan. 2nd down and 7 in the red zone are the Eagles for the first time. Powell's going to keep it. Spinning toward the end zone, and he's going to be down just short of the goal line inside the 1. A 6-yard run for Powell, and that's going to be a first down and goal to go.
And you don't see that much at all on tape. Taylor Powell keeping it on the zone read. Usually it's Austin Smith, the running quarterback, when he's in.
They're going to blow this play dead before Powell tried to sneak it in.
There's no foul on the play.
Chris Creighton, you could probably hear him. He wanted to know why they blew the play dead. Apparently the center just adjusted the ball enough where the officials said we have to stop play.
And both teams doing things kind of just a little bit uncharacteristic for them, but in a good way. San Jose State's running the ball, and then Taylor Powell in his Eastern Michigan offense, he keeps it on the zone read for a nice gain. Now they're knocking on the door.
One of the best offensive seasons in Eastern Michigan history. They're trying to get their first touchdown of the day and get back into this football game. Down 11. Powell calling a timeout, I believe.
Prior to the play clock expiring, timeout, Eastern Michigan.
The play clock was ready to expire, and Taylor Powell, got the official's attention, calls timeout.
This is a 30-second timeout.
4:09 to go here in the first
30 seconds.
quarter. It's not often that transfers are voted team captain, Rocky. That's what they have done here with Taylor Powell at Eastern Michigan. They really love his leadership and what he has done for this offense this year when he's been healthy.
Absolutely, and Chris Creighton talked about that. He's a guy who showed up in January, and kind of like, remember Russell Wilson did that when he transferred in over. You know, he had been there a few months and was voted captain. Taylor Powell the same way. If you're a leader, you're a leader, right? And guys can recognize that. They can recognize guys that are kind of being phony about it and ones who are the true leaders, and that's Taylor Powell.
You heard Donovan's report before the game that knee injury really a factor in him getting sustained playing time during his career at points. And good to see him healthy, trying to finish off his career with a victory today. Samson Evans in the backfield behind Powell.
3 tight ends in right now for Eastern Michigan.
Evans, he's going to be stood up and thrown back by a bunch of San Jose State Spartans. Brian Parham, the inside linebacker, leading the charge. No gain.
Derek Odom, defensive coordinator, talked about how much he liked Parham. That is mano y mano. Who's going to win? And Parham comes up and lays the boom on a great running back in Samson Evans. That's a heck of a play.
Now look at this. Samson Evans lining up perhaps to take the direct snap. Darius Boone, number 27, also in there at running back. He's going to be the lead blocker for Evans, and he takes it in for the touchdown. Another interesting wrinkle here in the first quarter of the famous Idaho Potato Bowl. And the Eagles have their first touchdown.
And I love it. We talked about the big offensive line. Then you bring in 3 tight ends, plus a wildcat running back, quarterback. That's just old school power football. Everyone knew that was going to be a run, and Samson Evans, after being deterred a play earlier, punches it in.
28th career rushing touchdown for Evans, the most in team history. And the extra point is good for Jesus Gomez, kicker from Mexico. And it's 13-9.
Yeah, good job by Evans again. Just patience. Just waits a little bit and then just look, follow the crease. Does such a good job of that. And I'll tell you what, if you're Chris Creighton, you've got to be very pleased of how your team has responded. I mean, all the momentum belonged on the side of San Jose State. And just something little, like a blocked extra point gets returned. There's 2 points. Then the offense comes on, has an explosive play, and they punch it in with their run game. They're back in this thing.
Coming up next, Hugh Freeze left Auburn, so Josh Aldridge has taken over at Liberty. Liberty going to face dual-threat quarterback DeQuan Finn in Toledo in the roofclaim.com Boca Raton Bowl, 7:30 Eastern, 4:30 Pacific. Of course, Toledo won the head-to-head with Eastern Michigan this year, so the Rockets represented the MAC West in the conference title game. Beat Ohio. They're going to try to get to 9 wins today.
Yeah, really happy for Jason Candle. He's been at that program a long time. Finally won a MAC title.
Brady Pohl is going to put this through the end zone. It'll be a touchback. San Jose State will have it at the 25-yard line. Trying to answer a 7-play scoring drive for the Eagles. Chevin Cordero here in the first quarter. 3 for 5, 55 yards, a touchdown pass. Also has a rushing touchdown. He's looked sharp here early.
He really has. We talked about him being that point guard, distributing the ball around. He had the big play to open the game to Isaiah Hamilton. Elijah Cooks, of course, has had an impact. And then the touchdown to Lockhart. He spreads that ball around to the open guy. He's got a couple good ones out there.
Jernigan goes out of the backfield, and now another flag. We've had quite a few here early.
Ball start, offense, number 70. 5-yard penalty, first down.
That's Malik Williams, the left guard, a Wyoming transfer. And so they'll back him up 5. And now more motion.
Offense. Number 70. 5-yard penalty.
Malik Williams
First down.
again. Back-to-back plays, and that's going to move this back another 5. Brennan can't believe it.
Teo's looking out on the field, though, for Eastern Michigan. Jose Ramirez not in the game at the moment. Their best defensive player not out there. We'll see if Cordero can take advantage.
So now 1st and 20. Cordero on the run will heave it to a wide open man downfield, and it's caught by Hamilton. Boy, Hamilton, a couple of big plays here in the first quarter.
And what an incredible throw by Cordero. He's flushed out, goes to his right, and this ball is thrown a good 40 yards down the field and just put on a dime. Perfect spot right there for Hamilton.
Hamilton, 2 catches and 61 yards already. They'll go back to Robinson on the ground. Looking for room on the left side. Robinson will pick up 5.
And you just get the sense that San Jose State's offense just has this defense just out of balance, right? They're expecting the pass and they run the ball, and expecting the run, they throw the ball, getting underneath routes, getting the quarterback involved in the run game. Just really has this Eastern Michigan defense out of sorts right now.
Defensive coordinator is Neil Nethery, who has maybe done the best coaching job in his career, according to Chris Creighton. Kind of changed the entire defensive scheme midway through the season. And they're going to get to Cordero. Cordero wrapped up and thrown down, and another penalty flag in the backfield. First sack today for the Eastern Michigan defense.
Personal foul, face mask, grasping at the opening of the helmet. Defense, number 90. 15-yard penalty, automatic, first down.
So you can take away that sack for Grant Truman. It's going to be a penalty on him instead.
And that's a shame, because it was just an incredible bull rush by Truman. And the art of the bull rush is get that offensive lineman bailing out of there, get him on some skates, and then power, get underneath his pads. It looked like just right there, I don't know, I saw it. Looked like the hand was on the shoulder pads, not the face mask, and Truman is trying to make that case.
Yeah, he was arguing with
with
whoever would listen. But falling on deaf ears, it's 15-yard penalty and a first down. Back in plus territory. San Jose State leading 13-9. Play action pass. Cordero loads up, fires downfield. That's going to be knocked away. Incomplete, intended for Nick Nash. Joshua Scott, nickelback, and on the coverage.
Talk about Joshua Scott being one of the best cover guys. Kempton Shine, the other cornerback. Great job, but here's something you don't see much out of San Jose State's balance on offense, and productive in both phases.
Second down and 10. Robinson looking for daylight on the right side. He'll lower his head, get inside the 40-yard line. As Chase Klein, the Michigan State transfer, brings him down. Eastern Michigan, number 3 in total defense in the MAC this year. Gave up 50 points to Buffalo. Midway point of the year, lost their best safety, Blake Bogan, out for the year with an ACL. It was at that point that Neil Nethery changed the entire defense.
Yeah, he's always been a 4-2-5 guy. Now they've changed it up. A lot of man-to-man coverage, single high safety.
Third down and 8. Downfield, they hook up. Isaiah Hamilton again. He is having an outstanding first half.
And Cordero is on fire right now. Look, watch this. He drops this ball in between 4 white jerseys. Back foot hits the ground, bang. That ball's out right in the middle of those 4 defenders. It's a great job.
Hamilton had 6 catches all year. He's got 3 here in the opening quarter. All big plays. Now Cordero on the run. Will angle out inside the 10. Chased out by Sparazio.
You can see Cordero, even as he's scrambling, he has his eyes downfield. He's always checking to see if a wide receiver gets open. He's not just flat tucking this thing and running it. And look, this play looks like it's dead to rights. Everyone's covered up. forced the quarterback out of the pocket, and instead he gets about 8 yards.
Yeah, ran a long way for that 8 yards, but it's 2nd down and 2. San Jose State knocking on the door again. Robinson. And I don't think he's going to have the first down. It's going to be close. As Chase Klein, the middle linebacker, steps up, brings him down. We'll see if they give it to him. They did. It is a first down for the Spartans. First down, a goal to go. And we'll see if they run another play here before the end of the quarter. I don't think so. Entertaining. Yeah, a little interesting at times. What do you expect in Boise at the famous Idaho Potato Bowl? You say potato, I say potato. It's famous for a reason, folks. Good one here between the MAC and the Mountain West. Spartans lead at 13-9 after 15 minutes. Back in Boise, the famous Idaho Potato Bowl. It's all things potato all the time here in Boise this time of year, including the potato sack race.
That's the thing. Usually the winner of those is not the fastest one. It's the one who can stay on their feet, because most of the time you're going to fall doing that.
Well, San Jose State put up 180 yards of offense in the first quarter alone. And they're back in the red zone here to start the second quarter. A couple of touchdowns already. And now Chevin Cordero has been good on his feet. Has one rushing touchdown. This time the Eagles stretch him out on first down. Cameron Smith and Chase Klein combine on the stop.
That was an excellent job by Chase Klein, the linebacker. This is tough business. You got a shifty guy like Cordero in open space. Look, but maintains his shoulders parallel to the line of scrimmage and just forces it wide till the cavalry can get there. Great job by 6.
9th play of the drive here coming up. 2nd down and goal.
Elijah Cooks is in this bunch formation here toward the bottom of the screen, number 4.
Cordero throwing behind Jernigan, had him wide open on the slant, but there was some pressure coming, and Cordero felt it and had to pull the trigger early.
Yeah, that's a shame, because they had designed that, they schemed it up to get Jernigan wide open, and he was. Just an errant throw by Cordero, and I think he had enough time to get that ball out.
Again, when he's had time this year, he has been outstanding. He has been sacked 41 times, though, this season. I mean, he's faced a lot of pressure. 3rd down and goal now. Here's Cordero on the run. Man open. It's Lockhart. Caught at the 1. Trying to spin out of a tackle. Can't do it. Held out of the end zone by Joshua Scott. Great play by Eastern Michigan, and now a battle for the football. The officials blowing the whistle, but it's like a wrestling match down there on the blue turf.
And what an incredible effort play by Joshua Scott here. Coming from all the way across the other side of the field and stopping Lockhart from breaking the plane.
Boys, you know what they call Josh Scott? Seatbelt Scotty.
Yeah.
Because he locks people up. You get that?
Yeah, absolutely. But look at this one. He runs all the way across, fights through a defender there, and makes a play on about the 2-inch line. Just an incredible effort. That's what your defensive coordinator just gets him excited when you see like a play like that on tape.
Well, Brent Brennan and his play caller, Kevin McGivern, are going to keep the offense out on the field, at least for now. But maybe they'll change their mind. A timeout called here by San Jose State.
Correction. This is a 30-second timeout. 30 seconds.
Well, Joshua Scott, maybe a touchdown-saving tackle.
It's just the little things like that can be the difference of winning a game and losing a game. If he doesn't get over there, they punch it in. And this is where, I mean, just throughout the course of the season, San Jose State not having a powerful run game where it hurts you, right? In a situation like this, although they have been able to run pretty well today so far.
Joshua Scott wearing number, or numeral 0, as it were.
Thank you.
That's given to the top defender from the last game. That number rotates. He's usually number 15. And so far, he's been one of their better playmakers on defense today.
No, well, we talked about Nethery, the defensive coordinator, going to more of a man scheme. The only way you can do that if you got guys who can cover. Joshua Scott's one of them. Now bottom of the screen, Elijah Cooks.
Now Eastern wants a timeout.
Eastern Michigan. This is a 30-second timeout.
So while the Eagles talk about it on defense before this 4th and goal play, we'll tell you about tomorrow night as Bowl Mania continues in the Bayou. The only bowl game tomorrow as it happens. Quarterback Austin Reed leading Western Kentucky against South Alabama. The R&L Carriers New Orleans Bowl, 9 Eastern, 6 Pacific on ESPN. And Reed, the nation's #2 passer. He flirted with the portal, so he had his name in there for a little bit and then took it out and has decided to stick with the Hilltoppers. That's great for Western Kentucky.
Absolutely. 327 pass yards per game. That's second best in the country. Some about quarterbacks in Western Kentucky. Of course, they had Bailey Zappi in a record-setting year last year. But I'll tell you what, you got to be happy for South Alabama going 10-2 in the second year under Kenny Womack. Just an incredible season they've had.
So after a couple of timeouts, one for either team, San Jose State has it, 4th down and goal, leading 13-9. And the offense does stay out there. Cordero out of the gun. They're going to try to run it, and they're not going to get there. Kyrie Robinson cut down in the backfield. Wasn't even close. Russell Vaden, the free safety, shot in to kill that play for San Jose.
But it was started by Peyton Price, defensive tackle. Incredible job of penetration, making that thing bounce. And Eastern Michigan comes up with a huge play defensively. Now they'll get the ball back.
Well, since the blocked extra point that was returned for a 2-point conversion for Eastern Michigan, all of the momentum has belonged to the Eagles here in Boise.
Yeah, it looked like San Jose State was going to start running away from this thing, but it's the special teams that have come up big. And that last series there, the Eastern Michigan defense, 3 incredible plays in a row, kept San Jose State out.
Well, tough field position for Powell in this offense. It's incomplete. Andreas Poska, the tight end, can't make the catch. And so it'll be 2nd down. It's interesting to note that the top pass catcher for Eastern Michigan, Hassan Beydoun, has not been involved yet. Dylan Drummond did have that big 58-yard reception, but for the most part, the passing game hasn't done much here for Eastern Michigan.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. Tanner Canoe, the other great wide receiver, hasn't been involved.
2nd down and 10. Eastern Michigan. They're sliding up. In trouble. Powell able to get rid of it. Avoids the sack in the end zone. Now it's 3rd down and 10. As Kakiva and Toya combined on that hit. Eastern Michigan wide receivers. We talked about Beydoun, their leading pass catcher. Veteran all-conference receiver. Hasn't even been targeted yet today.
No, they don't have one just standout guy the way San Jose has Elijah Cooks, but those 3 have been getting it done for the Eagles. But yeah, you got to get them involved.
So 3rd down for Eastern Michigan. 1 for 2 converting on 3rd down today. Here's Powell standing tall in the pocket, and there he finds Darius Lassiter. Big catch, good run after the catch. Still on his feet. Dragging tacklers close to midfield and finally pulled down at the 49. That is a 45-yard pass play for Taylor Powell and Darius Lassiter.
Darius Lassiter, he's the guy that has length in this wide receiving course. 6'3" and defensive back. Takes a gamble, tries to break that pass up. He misses, and it's a big play.
Now back to the ground, and Samson Evans bulldozes his way inside plus territory. Jordan Pollard chops him down. Short gain, 2-yard pickup, but that was the offensive play they needed, and they did it on 3rd down.
Absolutely. I mean, they're backed up in their own end zone. It looked like they're going to have to punt the ball back and give Spartans great field position, but Lassiter coming up with a huge play.
Play caller is quarterback coach Mike Piatkowski. Chris Creighton was calling the plays until 3 games ago, turned it over to the young assistant. Things have been going pretty well. There's a pass again. Wide side of the field to Lassiter. It's going to be 3rd down and about 3 coming up.
That was the same play that he had broke a couple ago. Taylor Powell getting on his tight end and saying, hey, come on, we need you here.
Eastern Michigan had a choppy start to the year, Rocky, but they've won 6 of their last 8, feeling really confident coming in here today.
Absolutely, and I think Taylor Powell is the answer at quarterback for him. Just the way he's commanded this offense and taking care of the football down the stretch has been great.
See if they can convert again. 3rd and 3. Evans will try to barrel ahead for it. It's going to be close. Evans, 2nd team All-MAC running back. Let's see where they spot it. As Sanders made the tackle. It's going to be 4th down. 4th down and about a half yard to go.
Yeah, they're not even going to measure that one. And here we go. Talk about Eastern Michigan's offensive line. I'm fully confident this is going to be a running play here. Samson Evans.
And probably to the left side behind City Sill. We'll see. It is right behind the big guard from Quebec. And they will move the chains.
Just old school power football. A couple double teams up front. Pushing blue jerseys off the line of scrimmage and let Evans just bury that thing up there. Just building the wall, shoving them back, controlling the line of scrimmage.
City Sill was about 5 yards deep into the 2nd level, pushing the San Jose State defense back.
Pushing the D lineman back into the laps of the linebackers.
Now Jalen Jackson checks in at running back off the right hip of Powell. Play fake to Jackson. Throw downfield looking for Lassiter again, and he makes another great catch. Boy, tucking it in there nicely, Taylor Powell.
Tell you what, between both these quarterbacks, we've seen some precision throws. Little RPO action here. He gets the look he wants, pulls that thing, and then just fits that ball right on the hip of Lassiter. It's a great job.
So here's Eastern Michigan, who took over deep inside their own 5-yard line. Driving, trying to take the lead for the first time. 9th play of the drive. It's a run play for Jalen Jackson, but he tackled at the 15 by Pollard.
And I'll tell you a guy whose name we've not called today, Clay, Junior Fayoko, right? The Mountain West Defensive Player of the Year. He's not had an impact. They need number 42 to get involved here.
Getting away is Jackson, staying on his feet. We'll get to about the 11 before Chase Williams, the safety, the transfer from USC, who has been fantastic this year for San Jose State, makes the stop. 4-yard pickup. So now 3rd down again for the Eagles on this drive. There's Jackson coming out. I'd like to get him in space as much as they can. Kind of a change of pace back to Samson Evans, who's back in now. And Fahoko, who you just mentioned, Rocky, isn't even on the field right now.
See him out there.
There goes Baydoun in motion to the other side. Powell looking to the left. Now he's going to run it. And he's going to have the 1st down to the 5-yard line. Taylor Powell. Good run of 6 yards. 1st down and goal to go Eastern.
And that's the 2nd time today that Powell, not a running quarterback, has made 2 big plays with his legs. Saw him keep on the zone read down the other end of the field to keep a drive going, and now same thing. Picking up 1st down. That's a good job. Take what the defense gives you. They got your guys covered up. Got a little window open. Use your legs, pick up the 1st down. Nice.
How about this? 92 yards covered on this drive so far. Play number 12. On 1st down, Evans with authority, just ramming it up in there. Yeah, he's like trying to tackle a baby bull. 6 foot, 218 pounds. And he gets it down to the 1-yard line. Kyle Harmon able to bring him down.
This is the football you love, though. You got Samson Evans versus Kyle Harmon, mano-a-mano, bang! They're just good football. I mean, who's going to win? Both those guys trying to drive the other one back. I love it.
2nd and goal from the 1. He's already 11 carries, 35 yards, and a touchdown. Let's see if he gets it again. I mean, if I'm the play caller, he's my call.
Yeah.
Out of the pistol, they will try to pass for the touchdown. Man open, caught, touchdown. Lassiter again. And honestly, he wasn't that open. Pretty good coverage there by Shelton. And somehow Lassiter adjusts to make his third touchdown catch of the year.
You mentioned it, Clay. He was not wide open at all. Watch this little dance, little throw the outside, and then just puts it on the back shoulder and deep where only Lassiter can get it. Taylor Powell has had some great throws on this 92-yard touchdown drive.
Third touchdown of the year for Lassiter. And the extra point is good by Gomez. First lead of the day for Eastern Michigan, trying to win their first bowl game in 35 years, the famous Idaho Potato Bowl. Eastern Michigan playing from in front for the first time today.
The famous Idaho Potato Bowl is brought to you by TaxAct. File for less and get more. And Capital One. What's in your wallet?
Some of the great scenery here in the Boise area. That's Lower Hulls Gulch.
Now, did you go trotting around and take that
No,
camera
I did
angle?
not.
No, I didn't think so.
I didn't bring the right footwear for that kind of
That's your excuse.
hiking.
Got it.
Well, how about Eastern Michigan? They get down a couple of scores right away, but they have taken the lead after that 96-yard drive, the longest drive in bowl history, the famous Idaho Potato Bowl history.
And you mentioned it. Ever since the blocked PAT, all the momentum has belonged to Eastern Michigan. It just shows you the power of a special teams play can do in swinging momentum.
And the offensive play caller again, Mike Piatkowski, the quarterback coach for Eastern Michigan, promoted to play caller a couple of games ago. He's the guy in the glasses there, in the ball cap. They're 2-0 in this new arrangement after Chris Creighton demoted himself. Mike used to be his quarterback when Chris was the head coach at Drake.
How about that? Yeah, you don't see a coach giving up play calling duties at the end of a season like that, but just shows you that the confidence he has in Piatkowski.
So
Yeah, guys, he knows him well. He started recruiting him at 17 years old back in the day.
They go back a long time, Don.
So now Chevin Cordero and San Jose State come out. We'll see how they respond. Kyrie Robinson in the backfield. Cordero to the wide side of the field, incomplete. Elijah Cooks, the intended man. So it'll be second down. Mike Piatkowski was the play caller for the Bulldogs back in the day at Drake and Des Moines. There he is. Second and 10. Receiver screen, Jernigan sprinting, trying to get away from the defenders. It's rushed out of bounds at around the 30-yard line by Vaden. So here's third down for San Jose State. And they desperately need to find some momentum again on offense.
Yeah, that's tough because, you know, they get an incompletion on first down. This is a rhythm offense. And, you know, they slowly move that ball down the field, get behind the chains like that. There's Jose Ramirez, top of the screen. See if he can get involved in this rush.
Cordero, a laser picked off. Intercepted by the linebacker and brought back inside the 30-yard line. Luke Cameron, the former Army Black Knight, with the interception of Cordero, just his fifth interception thrown this year.
And it was Ramirez on the inside move. Looked like he got in that throw window. You see at the top of the screen, gets in the throw window of Cordero. A little bit of pressure in the face there. And after that, it's a great break on the ball. I'm not sure Cordero even saw him.
Just the 7th turnover as a team for San Jose State all season.
Yeah, that's their thing, right? They've done such a good job taking care of the football. 4th in the country, turnover margin of +12.
And now Powell will see if he takes a shot. Comes down underneath to Baydoun, his first catch. He takes a shot right around the helmet. We'll see if this is a targeting call. Trey White, the safety, may have made contact with Baydoun's helmet.
Bang, bang play, and White trying to make a break on the ball.
There is no foul in the play. Result of the play, first down.
They're going to pick up the flag, and that's good news for San Jose State because their defense is already down a couple players due to injury.
You could hear the hit up here.
Oof.
Yeah. He did get the shoulder on the head there, but nevertheless, they're going to wave it off.
Well, finally, Eastern Michigan gets Baydoun involved, his first catch, first down, and now I think this is going to be a call down from the replay official, Rick Jackson.
Yeah, so, I mean, forcible contact, the head or neck area. It looked like the shoulder went into Baydoun's helmet area.
Ruling on the field is there was no foul for targeting. Previous play has been reviewed. Replay has determined that there is no foul for targeting.
Okay.
First down.
So we carry on.
Yes.
It did look like it could be targeting. It certainly sounded like it. Here it is.
Listen to it.
Oof.
It looked like the shoulder made contact first, and then
the helmet definitely made contact with the helmet, but I think you're right. Yeah. Shoulder led. Dylan Drummond in motion here on first down. Eastern Michigan leading, looking for more. Pass tipped up in the air, and it lands incomplete. Matau and a hand on it. Linebacker, the 6th-year senior, it'll be second down.
And Kyle Harmon say, man, that was an opportunity right there to change the momentum of this football game. See what Harmon's had, just a heck of a game.
They'll run it with Evans, finds a hole up the middle. Strong run down to the 3-yard line. First down and goal again for the Eagles.
They're going quick here, with tempo.
Stay with Evans, why not? Touchdown, Eastern Michigan. They turn the turnover for San Jose State into points and add to their lead.
And the same run 2 times in a row. Get a couple double teams up front and just allow Samson Evans, who has incredible vision as a running back, just let him pick the hole. He's so good at finding it. And Eastern Michigan with another score.
Samson Evans, he was dinged up in mid-October, basically missed 2 games. Last 4, he's been healthy and been very good. Gets his second touchdown as Gomez tacks on the extra point to make it 23-13, 10-point lead for Eastern Michigan as they have scored 23 unanswered.
This offense is hitting on all cylinders. Taylor Powell doing a good job, but when in doubt, hand it to Samson Evans. Power football, you know where the ball's going, but can you stop it? So far, San Jose State has not been able to do that.
Eastern Michigan in front by 10 at the famous Idaho Potato Bowl, northernmost bowl game. Started playing this bowl back in 1997. It was known as the Humanitarian Bowl back then. Good friends at the Idaho Potato Commission have been sponsoring this event since 2011. And now San Jose State trying to get back on track offensively. This game changed on one play, that block by Miles. Let's take a look at today's clutch delivery brought to you by Chipotle. So Miles with the block, the return by Hines. That's where everything changed for Eastern Michigan's favor.
You know what? I've been around football my whole life. I'm always just amazed at the plays that can change the entire momentum of a football game. San Jose State jumps out to a 13-0 lead. They're going to run away with this thing. Blocked extra point, and it's been 23 unanswered by Eastern Michigan ever since. Just unbelievable turn of events there. Has really done it for Eastern.
Couple of touchdowns for San Jose State, but on their last 2 possessions, turned it over on downs and an interception thrown by Cordero. A good play here by Robinson. It's now close to the 40-yard line, and now some jawing on the sideline. San Jose State and Eastern Michigan mixing it up on the Eagles sideline. It's Carmona, the left tackle, is obviously upset.
It looks like Carmona hit a coach on the sideline. I can't tell if it was his momentum that got him or did he purposefully shove him.
The result of the play is a first down, and there is no foul for a late hit out of bounds.
And again, they're going to pick up the penalty flag.
Yeah, and I think this was the right call because you see Carmona, who's a big guy, right? It's hard for him to just stop on a dime. As he's playing through the whistle here, he gets shoved in the back, and he winds up hitting a coach. And yeah, I think that was a good job of pulling that flag there. That didn't look like it was intentional at all.
Carmona, a freshman out of Las Vegas. And a freshman right tackle in Navarro. And on the other side, here is Cordero rolling out to his right, has a man wide open, the tight end, Jackson Kanan. As they get the tight end involved for the first time today. That's a gain of 26.
It's a great play design, too. Kanan kind of leaks up through the inside of the offensive line, just off to that left side. Seeing that bunch formation there, and you got Elijah Cooks sprinting down the field. He's going to require a lot of attention. You get your tight end underneath. That's a great play design.
Spartans missing their top 2 tight ends, Dominic Mazzotti and Sam Olson. 2 best tight ends arguably in the Mountain West, so Kanan and Skylar Loving-Black trying to step up in their absence. A reverse here now. Elijah Cooks, former high school quarterback, thrown to the end zone, and it is intercepted by Joshua Scott. And that'll be a touchback for Eastern Michigan. As San Jose State went to its bag of tricks, and Joshua Scott picks off Cooks in the end zone.
Incredible balance by Scott. He's fallen off onto his back, reached his right arm out, and somehow able to snag this thing. Cooks had no business throwing this football, but credit Joshua Scott for maintaining, finding that ball in the air and making the impossible catch. Eastern Michigan shutting down that momentum by San Jose State.
All right, Kevin and Dan, happy holidays to you guys. San Jose State, Rocky, hadn't turned it over, but 6 times all year they've turned it over on back-to-back possessions as the Eagles are back in business. And they run it on first down across the 25 to the 27. Let's look at that last play again.
Yeah, and I mean, again, just an incredible job by Scott. Reaching the arm in. Thought they might have taken a look at that and seen if he was bobbling as he came down. They said it was a good catch, and now a chance for Eastern Michigan to double dip here. Score again, they're going to get the ball coming out in the third quarter as well.
Under 3 minutes to go, and there is Tanner Canoe getting involved in the offense. Former recruited walk-on has had a really nice senior year. It's a gain of 20. And they're going with tempo.
And Powell just looks comfortable. Just making some great throws. There's no one.
Samson Evans out of the backfield. You know, the big man could catch it too. It's going to be close to another first down. Harmon escorted him out. They will move the chains, and now this team playing with a ton of confidence. You can just feel it.
You can. And San Jose State, conversely, looks all out of sorts on defense. I mean, they're very reactionary right now, and they're not on the right side of it. They'll find a way to make a big play here.
Eastern Michigan has been a great road team this year, too. 5-1 away from Ypsilanti. First time in program history, 5 road wins in a single season. Meanwhile, San Jose State struggling away from San Jose. 1-4 this year. Powell on the run. Along the sideline, he'll dance out of bounds. As Matau leads him out, it's another 6-yard pickup, so second down and about 4 coming up.
They tried to bring a little pressure on Powell and had everything locked up on the back end, but allowed a little crease for Powell to escape, showing he can do some damage with his legs here today.
Eastern Michigan trying to win their 4th straight game. They did not lose back-to-back games this year. Evans will not get it. It'll be Powell. He's being chased to the sidelines. That's going to be a loss. As Nehemiah Shelton, the cornerback, bumps him out of bounds. So now 3rd down after that loss of 4.
I think they should have just handed that ball to Evans right there, because I was getting ready to say that this front for San Jose State, which has really been the leader, if not just for this defense, this entire team, has been a non-factor in this game. You know, Fajoko's haven't called his name. Cade Hall hasn't had much of an impact, and you got to give a lot of credit to this offensive line for Eastern Michigan.
Actually, a 7-yard loss on that play. So now 3rd and 11. Powell goes out to Drummond. He makes the catch. Tries to slip out of a tackle, but Harmon gets him down, and it's going to be 4th down and short. We're going to get a timeout called for here by San Jose State. There's Brent Brennan, as his team has fallen behind by 10 after a quick start. Let's go back down to Don.
Yeah, Clay and Rocky, you guys talking about, we haven't talked about Fajoko, Junior Fajoko, very much so far in this game. I'll tell you this, he's not 100% healthy. He came out for a couple of plays and was grabbing his left knee at one point, didn't even have his helmet with him. He's back in, but I can tell you he is not 100%. And then also remember, starting safety Trey Jenkins also missing, suffered a right ankle injury in that first quarter. We haven't seen him since. And I've seen some confusion and the need for maybe some extra communication on the back end. Those are 2 key players, guys, that they are missing, and you can see that on the back end especially.
Yeah, Don, you know, and they were fairly healthy on defense coming into this game. It is the 4th straight game without starting corner Kenyon Reed. No Lando Gray today, the senior nose guard, but now what's happened to Fajoko is a bad development. Trey Jenkins is a star for them, and they've been on their heels here since late in the first quarter.
Yeah, just haven't been able to be productive. They're the one that just sets the tone. And here we go with Eastern Michigan being real confident right now, going to go for it on 4th and 1.
They're 1 for 1 today on 4th down. This seems like this would be Evans all the way, right?
I think that'd be a good bet.
Last time on 4th down, they converted with him. And they'll do it again. And just like you would expect on that left side, that is the strength of the offensive line. We've said it a few times today. That's a 5-yard gain. They'll keep the offense on the field here late in the first half.
And just a great job. Sidney So, we've talked about him. He commands the double team, and then he gets to the second level. Watch 62, pushes the D lineman back, and then gets a little bit of a shoulder on Pollard, the linebacker there, and that's all Sampson needed. I mean, that was easy. That was just making that thing look too easy, but you got a guy like Sidney So right there. Man, what a player he is.
Now back to the air. Powell taking a shot at the end zone, and it's Lassiter again. Touchdown. His second nice catch in the end zone to cap a drive. 28-yard throw for Powell. Eastern Michigan has just taken this game by the back of the neck.
And it's been obviously Sampson Evans, but Taylor Powell has made 3 throws today that have been just incredible, including that one. Take a look, see if he had possession of that ball before he went out of bounds.
What they might be looking at, was he juggling it? Is that what you think here?
Yeah, did he have it controlled before he went out? I mean, look at the ball is on the money. No, just a little bit of a hiccup there. He has to re-catch that thing, and I think that one's going to come back. It's unfortunate. I mean, that ball he couldn't put it in a better spot. No. Right over the top of the head of Dansby, the freshman corner.
There's no doubt, though, the San Jose State defense is out of sorts now.
Oh, totally. they're just not able to make any impact up front, which is normally the case.
Review, the ruling on the field of a touchdown stands.
Oh, they're going to hold it up as a touchdown.
I guess.
So Lassiter with his second touchdown catch. That caps an 8-play, 80-yard drive in 2:30. Here comes Jesus Gomez on for the extra point again. Eastern Michigan 1-5 all-time in bowl games. Haven't won a bowl game since 1987. And after falling behind 13-0 in this game, they rattled off 30 unanswered.
Well, you talk about Taylor Powell and what is likely going to be his last game, was just putting on a clinic throwing the football. Ball is absolutely in a perfect spot. Thought he might have re-caught it, but they called the touchdown good. And it's just, I mean, sledgehammer with Evans over and over and over. And then, hey, guys, we got to shore up that line here. We got to get some more guys in the box. And then Powell takes advantage on the outside there. Ice water in his veins.
Former Gatorade Player of the Year in Arkansas, product of Fayetteville High School right there in Razorback country. Ended up going to Missouri at first. Then transferred on to Troy. This is the most playing time of his career. Made one start in 2 years at Missouri, 5 starts last year at Troy, and found a home in Ypsilanti this year, and trying to lead this program to an historic win in a bowl game.
Yeah, and Don talked about him before the game, his journey, which is incredible. You got some injuries, you got coaching changes. It's not easy being a quarterback. But I'll tell you what, showing up in what, again, likely his last game, he's putting on a show.
Well, it's the inaugural Jumpman Invitational in Charlotte coming your way tomorrow. Hunter Dickinson and Michigan taking on Caleb Love, Armando Bacot, and North Carolina. Coverage begins at 7 Eastern on ESPN and the app. It's going to come your way right before the New Orleans Bowl. The only bowl game of the day tomorrow. Happy holidays, everyone. Alongside Rocky Boyman, I'm Clay Matvick. Don Davenport down on the sideline. She's got that heated vest on, so
yes,
she's doing good.
It's a must have.
I know you like that purchase. It's worked out well for you this year. As Cordero slides up and gets sandwiched in between 3 players. Grant Truman was there. Chase Klein was there. And Jose Ramirez also in on the hit.
And they look in no hurry here to try to put something together before halftime.
This is the second cold weather game for San Jose State this year. Had a game in the low 20s at Utah State. They lost that game as Cooks makes the catch. And they're going to run up to the line. I don't feel like that has anything to do with their performance here in the first half.
No.
Because they got out to a great start.
Yeah, they did. Started off on fire. But as we talked about, the blocked extra point, ever since that moment, it has been all Eastern Michigan. Offensively, defensively, the whole deal.
Final 20 seconds. There's Cooks. And he gets it close to the 35-yard line. And now San Jose State is very much in field goal range for Terrence Shive. And one timeout remaining for San Jose State. Clock is ticking and running out of time here. They're going to spike it.
It's really interesting because they started that drive looking like, hey, we're just going to be content to take this thing into halftime. Was not a lot of sense of urgency, and then they get a couple big plays there, one to Elijah Cooks, and it was like almost like they said, well, hey, maybe let's go ahead and try to score here. I think if they started with some more tempo right out of the jump, might have saved a few more seconds. That's all you need here. Might have been at least enough time to try one shot to the end zone before you attempt the field goal.
Well, Terrence Shive did miss from 46 earlier in this game. That was in the first quarter, going into the other end zone. We'll see what they decide to do here. Timeout called for by San Jose State.
And I don't think this is enough time to try a quick shot to the sideline to gain an extra 5 yards here with 4 seconds. Usually need about 5 or 6 if you want to try to sneak that thing in there like that. I think this is going to have to be to the end zone.
Cordero, 175 yards passing in this first half. It's been a quiet 175. Does have the touchdown throw to Justin Lockhart. Also has the touchdown run, but he was really agonizing over that interception that he threw to Luke Cameron. You could tell when he came off the sideline, he hasn't had that kind of disappointment much this year. Came into the game with just 4 picks.
Yeah, it looks like I agree. He really got down on himself after that.
Now Cordero will come back out onto the field with 4 seconds to go. San Jose State out of timeouts. What would you do here if you're the play caller, Kevin McGibbon?
Well, I'm looking for number 4, Elijah Cooks. He's the second from the top of the screen.
Cordero backpedaling, sets up, going to launch one toward the end zone. A couple of receivers in the paint, and it is incomplete. Good battle there in the end zone, but it lands incomplete as the first half comes to an end. It was Elijah Cooks who Cordero was trying to find, but Kempton Shine, the junior corner, knocked it away.
And Cooks had a shot at this. He had it for a split second, but Kempton Shine kept clawing away at that football, did not allow Cooks to get that right arm, kept tugging away at it. That was really, really close. Eastern Michigan going to head into halftime here with a ton of confidence.
Eastern Michigan with the lead 30-13, 30 unanswered points. Let's go back down to Don.
Well, Coach, slow start for your team, but you answer back with 30 unanswered. What changed the momentum that half?
Yeah, it was a slow start. I mean, this game's going to be won and lost, I think, on turnovers, takeaways, and then special teams, and really rough start. But finished strong for sure. I think both teams know that there's just a ton of football left. We're going to have to take care of the ball, try to keep taking it away, and got to keep running our inside zone and keeping them in front of us. So we'll see.
Thank you, Coach.
Thanks.
Eastern Michigan 30, San Jose State 13 in the famous Idaho Potato Bowl at the halftime. For the Nissan Halftime Report, Kevin Connors, Dan Mullen.
All right, Clay, happy holidays to you.
Welcome back to Capital One Bowl Mania.
Back at Boise and the famous Idaho Potato Bowl, part of Capital One Bowl Mania. On the foothills of the Rocky Mountains here in Boise on the blue turf. 30-13 is their score. Eastern Michigan leading San Jose State at the half. And our Dollar General first half stats, as you take a look at it, certainly a good start for San Jose State, but then Eastern Michigan with a well-balanced attack and taking some advantage of mistakes by San Jose State, comes back, scores 30 unanswered. It wasn't a good start for the Eagles in their attempt to get their first bowl win in 35 years, but they've come back strong.
Yeah, I mean, you're right. We talked about it. I mean, San Jose State comes out of the gate smoking. Looks like they were going to just totally take control of this game, get the blocked extra point, and ever since that point, it has been all Eastern Michigan. And Darius Lassiter, the receiver, we didn't really talk a ton about coming into this game. 2 touchdown catches, and Taylor Powell has been fantastic throwing that ball out there today.
Yeah, Taylor Powell has been good, and that offense for Eastern Michigan is going to get the football to start the second half as well. So they're fired up. The Eagles haven't won a bowl game since 1987. In fact, the only time they have won a bowl game, 1987, that was the California Bowl victory over San Jose State, trying to do it again. Eagles ready to return, and they're going to start at the 25-yard line. Let's take a look at today's performance update prepared by TaxAct. Rocky, you talked about Taylor Powell and how sharp he has been, and he has hooked up with Lassiter a couple of times in the end zone.
Yeah, absolutely. And, I mean, Lassiter, talk about the size, his frame at 6'3", able to go up and get it here. And then, of course, there's been a lot of that man right there, Samson Evans, getting those tough yards, 63 on the ground. This offensive line really having its way with San Jose State.
And we're going to probably see a lot of Samson Evans here in the second half. He'll get a couple on the first play from scrimmage. Let's go down to Don.
We are not responding. That's what San Jose State head coach Brent Brennan told me. He told his guys in the locker room, he said they've got to start responding when things go bad. You can't worry about the outcome and the big picture. That was his message to his guys. And he said that's got to change. A very uncharacteristic performance from the first half from his team. Now, I asked about his defense, missing a couple of key cogs in that defense, especially on the back end. He said somebody has to step up and make a play. We've done this all year. Guys step in. He said that didn't happen in the first half. That has to change.
Derek Odom, the defensive coordinator, who was Brennan's first hire. He's a great coach. Got to assume he's made some adjustments.
Yeah, you have to. I mean, again, you're not getting much out of your defensive line, so you wonder if they start to maybe bring a little pressure, blitz some a little bit, find a way to get Taylor Powell off his spot, because he has been just lights out since this game started.
So after that incompletion, 3rd down and 7, Evans in the backfield. 3 receivers to the wide side. Here comes the pressure from San Jose State. Powell throws intended for Drummond. Good coverage. And that is going to be 4th down. So that's the way San Jose State needed to start defensively, Rocky, and they're able to get off the field as Shelton was in coverage there. Excellent corner.
Absolutely. I mean, look, San Jose State is by no means out of this thing. This is a 17-point game, still a lot of football to play here. But, yeah, you got to start off the second half here with a 3-and-out. Now get the ball back to your offense that started this game very explosive, and see if they can get it going here.
Isaiah Hamilton back to return. Mitchell Thomasek, just a 19-yard punt on his first and only punt today for Eastern Michigan. Takes the low snap, end-over-end low kick, and this is going to take a nice Eastern Michigan roll inside the 25-yard line, and then laid dead at the 25. 47-yard punt for Thomasek. Kevin Cordero had that rushing touchdown early to get the scoring started, through another touchdown pass in the first quarter, but then after that, the defense for Eastern Michigan started to get to him a bit.
Yeah, that's what it was. But he's shown he is a dual threat guy out there. Been efficient as a passer, 10 of 17, but just at certain times with his legs, he's able to create and extend that play. Got to do that some more here.
Nothing to show for their last 4 offensive possessions. They fake the jet sweep, and they'll come on the tunnel screen to Elijah Cooks, and he escapes into the secondary. And out across midfield, Elijah Cooks with a big play for the Spartans, a gain of 25.
What a great play design. Bring Elijah Cooks underneath, a little bit of a tunnel screen, get the ball to your 6'4", 215-pound wide receiver, and let him go to work.
Over 1,000 yards receiving on the year for Elijah Cooks, the Nevada transfer. He has had a career year at his new home in San Jose. Kyrie Robinson on the carry. Had 9 touches in the first half. That's a 3-yard gain.
Yeah, and you got to find a way to get a spark going. All right, first offensive play, a little fake jet motion underneath screen. You get your offensive lineman Carmona out there throwing a block. That'll get you going.
I know you think Elijah Cooks has some NFL potential.
I do. I mean, the sheer fact his size. I mean, 6'4", 215. You don't see that out there much, and the quarterback got to be able to just throw a ball up there. He can go get it.
Charles Ross, the intended receiver there, but Joshua Scott has been so good in coverage. Knocks that one away.
I mean, what a game Joshua Scott has had. He had the interception in the end zone that Elijah Cooks threw. Watch this. And sometimes as a defensive back, you don't have time to get your eyes back to the quarterback. You got to play the receiver without finding a way to interfere. Great job. As those hands go by the receiver, you take your arm and throw it right up through the middle and separate those hands. Just a textbook play there.
Oh, it's dropped by Kanan, the tight end. Jackson Kanan was wide open. No one within, 10 yards of him. And it's going to be 4th down as San Jose State can't convert.
Yeah, and they start off hot, and that just a drop there throws cold water on the whole start to the 3rd quarter here.
That was going to be an easy first down for San Jose State, which has converted only once on 3rd down today. Travis Benham on to punt for the first time. And it's going to be fair caught by Dylan Drummond, as Eastern Michigan will have it just short of the 20-yard line. 12:48 to go, just underway here in the third quarter. 30-13 in Boise. You think Idaho, you think potatoes for sure,
yes.
But you also think about the beautiful mountains and the downhill skiing in this area. Just a beautiful place. College football playoff semifinals Saturday, December 31st on ESPN. Number 2 Michigan taking on TCU in the Verbo Fiesta Bowl, 4 Eastern, noon Pacific. Then number 1 Georgia, number 4 Ohio State in the Chick-fil-A Peach Bowl. Winner plays January 9th on ESPN in the championship. Ohio State a little beat up as Powell goes deep downfield and just missed Darius Lassiter. That connection has been so good today. And then, of course, Sonny Dykes, the AP Coach of the Year. Hard to argue with that award going to Dykes.
I'll tell you what, I'm interested in watching that Georgia-Ohio State game. Ohio State has heard nothing for the past 4 weeks, but, hey, you got punched in the mouth. You're not physical. Michigan just flat beat you up. I have a feeling that's going to wear on them a little bit, and they may come out of the game or come out for that game all rared up to show the world that they're not some soft bunch out there.
They've got some injuries that they're dealing with. There's Samson Evans, and he's cut down by Fehoko. Junior Fehoko shooting in. Mountain West Defensive Player of the Year. And too few times have we said his name today, but there's an opportunity to get in and cut down the ball carrier, and he does just that.
Well, that's good. You know, sometimes it takes you just making one play to get in the flow of the game here, and there he is on the outside there. Just nice little quick swim move, and that's what all the NFL scouts love. I mean, the guy plays with his hair on fire, but that quick twitch.
A lot of hair there to catch on fire.
There you go.
Almost 20 tackles for loss on the season now. Go along with 9 sacks. Powell in trouble, being chased by Fehoko. And Powell running for his life gets rid of it. So 4th down. Good job again by the San Jose State defense.
And watch Fehoko here. I mean, this is what, folks, you call a bull rush. Get him upfield and then just walk a 300-pound offensive tackle back in the lap of the quarterback, force the quarterback out of the pocket. I mean, he is just so strong, 6'4", 263, just got underneath the pads of the 6'7" Dooley there. That was all she wrote.
So Powell, who was 11 for 16, over 200 yards passing in the first half, hasn't completed a pass in 2 series here in the second half. Hamilton back to return this punt from Thomasette. It's going to bounce. Takes another nice roll inside the 30, but out short of the 25-yard line. 11:45 to go in Boise here in the third quarter. 30-13 Eastern Michigan.
Welcome back to the Idaho Potato Bowl. Eastern Michigan ahead 30-13 over a San Jose State team that has had an emotional few months. They lost their teammate, freshman Camden McWright, when he was struck by a school bus while riding a scooter near campus in October. The team made the decision to cancel their next game against New Mexico State. They played their first game since his death against Nevada on October 29th. Forming a giant number 6 on the field to honor him. They came back to get that win. Today, the Spartans sporting Camden's full name on the back of his helmets there. Guys, players told me it was devastating to this team. It's brought them closer together over time. They've rallied around each other. They, as a team, want to honor Cam, but I tell you, it has affected these young men greatly. Camden McWright, just 18 years old.
Yeah, they've rallied around him. They've dedicated the season to Camden. They have played well. But I don't think they've fully recovered, Rocky. It's just something so hard to overcome.
I don't think you ever fully recover from something like that. Just a tremendous loss to a bright and talented young man. Just terrible.
Thank you, Don, for that. And again, it's been such a hard year. And Eastern Michigan also lost a dear friend this year. Assistant coach Fred Reed passed back in May, and they're dedicating this season to him. So this season, this bowl game in particular, means a lot for both teams for different reasons.
Yeah. Two groups trying to heal, trying to go out there and get a win, get excited, and play for one another.
So 3rd down and 6 after that last incompletion. Chevin Cordero and the Spartans trying to get something going. They haven't scored since the first quarter. Cordero rips one to the outside, broken up again by Joshua Scott. What a game for the 6-foot sophomore from Antioch, California.
I'll tell you what, Joshua Scott is, if he wasn't before, he has put himself on the radar of the NFL scouts with this game today. I mean, phenomenal plays, pass breakups, interceptions, breaking on the ball. It's just great stuff out there.
And it's not against just any quarterback.
No.
This is the best passer in the Mountain West.
Right.
So now the Eagles ready to get it back. Fair catch called for, some contact, and yep, a penalty flag. A couple of flags, in fact. As Dylan Drummond was bumped into.
Pitch interference. Kicking team, number 43. 15-yard penalty, 1st down.
Another bad break for San Jose State. Well, bowl season continues on Thursday night with the Lockheed Martin Armed Forces Bowl. Freshman running back Richard Reese leading Baylor against Air Force, and their star running back Brad Roberts. Coverage begins 7:30 Eastern, 4:30 Pacific on ESPN. A couple of offenses that really rely on the run game, both rank in the top 50 in rushing. Roberts, number 5 in the country in rushing.
And we've seen Richard Reese twice in person this year. Phenomenal player as a true freshman. Leading that offense the way he has. Great job.
Under 11 minutes to go, 3rd quarter. 30-13 Eastern Michigan. They're down 13-0 early in the first quarter, and they've really dominated since that point. There's a long pass. Showing off his arm talent there is Taylor Powell. Tanner Canoe, his 2nd catch. 3rd-team All-MAC receiver. Brings it in for a 16-yard gain.
A nice pass by Powell. He just drops that ball over top of the corner, underneath the safety. Has enough velocity on it to get there in time. Great throw.
Back to Samson Evans. Has a couple of touchdown runs today. That's his 18th carry. He ran it 36 times in that upset win in the desert at Arizona State earlier this year, so it's not out of the realm of possibility we see him carry it a dozen more times.
Yeah,
I
I imagine he may approach that 36 carry mark that he did against Arizona State. He had the 63 rush yards in the first half, and his longest was 13, but other than that, it was 2 yards, 4 yards, 1 yard, just getting his tough ones there, picking up first downs.
And Powell to the air here, 2nd down and 8. He spun around, gets away, but not for long. He's dragged down at the 42 by Parham, who almost had the sack in the backfield and then was able to collapse him at the 42. That's his 2nd sack.
Here we go, San Jose State bringing some pressure with a blitz. Bring Parham up the middle, and he just splits the guard and the tackle, and then after that, it's just relentless to the quarterback. And they don't blitz a ton here, but I think they have to start doing that. They got to find a way to affect Taylor Powell, because he's just sitting back there and picking spots and throwing the ball. It's a good job.
38th sack on the year. There's San Jose State defense, most in the Mountain West. Trying to make a play here on 3rd and 14. Powell has plenty of time, comes to the check down receiver on the crossing route, and it's going to be well short of the line to gain. Gunnar Oaks on that catch, an 8-yard pickup, so 4th down, and we'll see the field goal unit come out. Jesus Gomez has a big leg. Tied a school record with a 55-yarder at Ball State back in October, so this is within his range.
Absolutely. About 51 here.
13 for 16 on the year. The left-footed kicker has it on the way. It's got the distance. How about that? And plenty of room to spare. Jesus Gomez gets 3 more on the board for the Eagles. So things going well for the team from Southeast Michigan. Leading it by 20 now in Boise. sophomore Jesus Gomez from Mexico. They told us he had a big leg. They weren't lying. How about that kick? 51-yarder, tying a Potato Bowl record, and that would have been good for much longer.
Absolutely, might have been good from 60. That thing had some power behind it. And then watch the celebration here. A little choreographed, little standoff, right? Kids ever seen The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly, right? Pointed. No, maybe not. I like it.
Oh, Eastern Michigan has just dominated since the midway point of the first quarter. And now the lead is 20 for Chris Creighton. 5th bowl game in the last 7 years. He's in year number 9. Before Creighton took over in 2014, Eastern Michigan went almost 2 decades without a winning season. Yeah. Now, it took him a while to get things going, but he has. And now things are definitely going the right direction for this program.
I mean, this was a program that flirted with dropping down to the FCS, but, Creighton came in and, did a good job of slowly building this thing. Got to the Bahamas Bowl in 2016, and, this year finally got past 7 wins, going at 8-4. I really enjoyed talking with him this week where he talked about, they have a trophy case in their football office, but it didn't have any trophies in it until this year. They actually brought the whole team up there to take a look at that thing. They won the Michigan MAC, beating both Central and Western. And then, of course, they were West Division co-champs.
Yeah, things are feeling pretty good on that Eastern Michigan sideline at this point. Kyrie Robinson out of the backfield makes the catch. He's going to be close to a first down for San Jose State, which needs to find some juice in this offense, which got out to a great start here today. And Chevin Cordero, their dual threat transfer quarterback, who's so good at that quick perimeter passing game. But Eastern Michigan, after a couple of drives, figured him out, and they've really shut it down.
They really have, and they just look flat. They need an explosive play right now. They need to get the ball in the hands of someone, break a couple of tackles, get a big play, and try to get some excitement back on that sideline.
Top passer in the Mountain West flares it out on 3rd and short, and they are going to pick up the first down here. That is Isaac Jernigan, another Nevada transfer. That's 4 of them, by the way, if you're keeping count. Wide receiver coach Eric Scott came from Nevada, and he had a bunch of receivers follow him to San Jose.
It's the way of the world now, right? Transfer portal and guys coming and going. And I like what Brett Brennan talked about. He said when Cordero was at Hawaii, we had to play against him for 3 years. He always played pretty good against us, so they were happy to get him here.
And he's getting some pressure, able to get it downfield, and it's caught. Beautiful catch, Isaiah Hamilton. What a game for Hamilton. Down just short of the 20-yard line, and he beat Joshua Scott to do it.
Now we're talking here. Big play. I mean, he throws this ball just before getting this thing swatted out of his hand. Again, we've just seen some great throws today by both Cordero and Powell. That was a good one. See if they can build on that here.
4th catch for Hamilton. He's got 120 yards. All of his catches, big plays, 37, 24, 23, that for 36. On first down, back to Robinson, finds some wiggle room up the middle. And Jose Ramirez, the All-American, makes the tackle, but there's a good run on first down. That's what the deep passing threat will do. It'll loosen up that run game a bit.
And look, if you're San Jose State right now, you just can't look at the scoreboard. You can't start counting points and all that. You just got to start stacking good plays on top of one another, and there's 2 in a row.
How can any football team in America anymore worry about a deficit of a few points, especially after what Minnesota did this past weekend in the NFL?
Yeah, never out of it.
33-point deficit to the Colts, and the Vikings ended up winning that game at halftime. They were down 33. To the end zone, and that is caught. What a catch by Nick Nash, the former quarterback. Hauls it in, contested catch for a touchdown. Now here comes San Jose State.
There you go. Again, stack good plays on top of one another. See what happens. Good things happen when you do that. You get the first down, then you get a nice run, and then 50-50 back shoulder ball there to Nash.
There's Brent Brennan. He's got to feel much better about things now, as his team can pull back to within 13 with the extra point attempt coming here from Terrence Shive. And they get it. 33-20 now, 5.5 minutes to go. Third quarter as Nick Nash makes a contested catch for a touchdown.
Yeah, it's just a great job. Again, these back shoulder throws, they're just impossible to cover. Josh Scott was in pretty good shape there, but how about the leaping ability by Nash? Nash is just 6'1", but look, he gets way up in the air and is able to just fight that ball away from Scott.
Nick Nash is a senior, only in his 5th game of the season. They want to redshirt him, and so they held him out the last several weeks, but because of that NCAA waiver announced last week, he's able to play in this bowl game and keep that redshirt, so he'll have his senior year again in 2023.
And I guess they did that because there's players opting out of bowls, and that's a detriment to rosters of teams, right? Arkansas has 19 guys not going to play in their bowl game, so I like that rule. Allow some guys that, hey, maybe you're going to redshirt, allow them to play some in these bowl games, and it's really working out well for San Jose State here.
This is a returnable kick for Eastern Michigan. Now it's Elijah Jackson Anderson, the freshman from Flint. Stopped at the 19, so a fairly long field here for the Eagles with 5:21 to go in the third. Coming up next, tonight the Boca Raton Bowl. Liberty and Toledo, 7:30 Eastern, theroofclaim.com, Boca Raton Bowl. What a great game. We've done that before. In fact, we did it last year.
Yeah, last year, watched Bailey Zappi throw it for like 4,000 yards in a single game against App State.
Liberty's got a new head coach, of course, after Hugh Freeze left for Auburn. And Toledo out of the MAC. For all you MAC fans, will be in action later tonight. Samson Evans out of the pistol will get the football. Evans, a big dump truck, carries it across the 20 to the 22 as we go down to Dawn.
Yeah, guys, we're feeling a little bit of energy on the San Jose State sideline. Head coach Brent Brennan told his defense after their last possession where they held them to a field goal, great job. This looks like us. Keep it up. He wanted a response at halftime. I think he feels like he's getting it on both sides of the ball down here.
Yeah, and look, just like that, it's a 13-point football game. They're right back in the thick of this thing.
He's looking for his first win as Spartans head coach. Had him in a bowl game a couple of years ago, but this is their first real, true bowl experience because of COVID a couple of years ago. Junior Fehoko, he is really playing inspired football since halftime. Another tackle, and Evans is slow to get up.
And this is twice in a row. Evans is going a little more east-west instead of north-south. He's normally a guy that is running downhill. See Fehoko controlling the block. You get the blitz. And the outside there by Elijah Wood, a run blitz.
Looked like Brian Dooley, the right tackle, slipped down.
Yeah.
And that really messed that play up and allowed Fehoko to get clean to the ball carrier. Evans checks out. Jackson is in the backfield. And now Powell running around, and he's going to have to throw it away as Nehemiah Shelton has really had a good game. He got the pressure on the blitz from his corner spot, and it's 4th down, and Eastern will have to punt again.
And I really like that call by Derek Oden, the defensive coordinator, on the short side of the field. So bring Nehemiah Shelton on a corner blitz, something that quarterback's not expecting, and force a bad throw and then punt.
I think you and I were expecting a different maybe game plan. At halftime, you and I were talking. We expected a heavy dose of the run game for Eastern Michigan. But San Jose State's defense has really made some big plays on 1st and 2nd down that have been able to get that defense off the field.
And I think Evans' health moving forward is going to be a real factor. They cannot afford to lose him.
Isaiah Hamilton making the fair catch, 46-yard punt for Thomas. Full week headlines. Capital One Bowl Mania rolling on. Southern Miss. Frank Gore Jr., the first FBS player with 300 rushing yards, passing touchdown in a bowl game all time. I mean, he was outstanding.
Unbelievable.
Mountain West 2-0. Fresno State and Boise State with victories. And the Sun Belt 3-0. They lead all conferences so far in bowl victories. Of course, this is the home stadium, Albertsons Stadium, home of the blue turf, Boise State's home field. northernmost bowl game. It's always cold in December in Boise, but I gotta say the weather hasn't been bad here today. A couple of days ago, they were predicting snow in single digits.
It is easy for us to say in this climate-controlled booth. We have to ask Don if it's actually good weather or not.
Yeah, easy for you fools up there to say. Exactly. Hey, I am going to point this out. The sun went away. A lot of players are huddling in front of heaters.
Yeah.
I wish I could join them at this point, but I feel like the temperature has dropped a little bit this half.
Well, San Jose State was telling us last night they have some interesting strategies to overcome the cold. And it has to do with latex gloves and baggies under their socks and all kinds of stuff. It's really interesting to hear. As that one's batted down by Grant Truman. And now it's 3rd down and 4 for San Jose State.
That was a huge play by Truman. He had a nice bull rush early in the game, and it's going to be a 2nd and 4. Going to be an easy completion. He knocks it away here. I'd like to see Jose Ramirez get something going here. He's the defensive end we talked about, the MAC Defensive Player of the Year. He'll be down the bottom of your screen here, number 4. See if he can affect this play.
Cordero on the run, throws a strike to Malachi Miller, sophomore out of Oakland, California, and that's going to be a 1st down for the Spartans.
Wow, really close.
Injury timeout on the field.
And now apparently a man down over there on that far sideline.
Yes, Kempton Shine, one of the best cover guys on Eastern Michigan's team. Real close. Right at the stick.
So they didn't give it to him. It was very close.
Great effort by Shine coming through.
There's an Eastern Michigan man down on that sideline too. It's Kenton Shine. I believe it's going to be 4th down.
And remember, we saw in the first half Joshua Scott make a great effort play on the back end, stopping San Jose State from scoring. They were able to keep them off the board there when they went for it on 4th down, and maybe another great effort play here. We're not getting the call if they're going to give them a 1st down. Or
There was no injury on the play. It's 4th down.
all right.
Yeah, so just short. It looked like he had it at first, but you could see that it was his foot that was across, not the football.
Yep, that's exactly right. Brent Brennan thinks it was across the line, but nevertheless, it's going to be 4th down here. Of course, they're going to go for it. I think.
They may decide to talk about it first. 3:03 to go, 3rd quarter, timeout. Down on the field, it appears.
Oh, they're going to punt it.
Oh, Brennan just calling the offense off the field to get the punting unit on there, not a timeout.
And I think he's saying, look, I finally have some confidence in my defense here for the first time all game, the way they've played in the 2nd half, and try to pin them back and get a little bit better field position.
And now a timeout called, and granted, it's Eastern Michigan that called the timeout.
Timeout, Eastern Michigan. This is a 30-second timeout.
2:54 remaining here in the quarter. As you look at Chris Creighton, he called the timeout. The annual NBA on Christmas Day tradition continues. 5 star-studded games on ESPN and ABC. Sixers-Knicks starting the day at noon Eastern. And it's Lakers, Mavs, Bucks, Celtics, Grizzlies against the Warriors, Suns, Nuggets capping the night on Christmas. Clay Matvick, Rocky Boyman, Don Davenport, our entire crew here in Boise for the famous Idaho Potato Bowl. And a lot of deliberation here, really for both teams before this 4th down.
And I'm thinking he looks like he might have called the offense back out on the field. As if Eastern Michigan calling the timeout gave him a chance to think about it, and he said, hey, maybe it's time for us to go here. And it seemed to really rejuvenate that sideline.
Boy, if they could pick this up here, it would be a real momentum lift for San Jose State, which pulled to within 13 on that last scoring drive.
Elijah Cook's at the bottom of the screen here.
They need a yard. Hit in the backfield, Robinson, and he's dropped. He did not get it. He did not get it. Grant Truman, number 90, again coming in, getting some help from Peyton Price, number 94.
I mean, this line of scrimmage in key moments has been controlled by Eastern Michigan. Little line stunt and the penetration. And like you said, not even close. Tim Randall, good job of some penetration in the backfield, also fouled that play up.
Make a mental note of that stop right there. That could be a huge play here in the second half. Could ultimately help decide this outcome. So the Eagles take over. Great field position starting in San Jose State territory. That pass complete out around the 40-yard line. That is Canoe. His third catch. He'll get 4 yards.
And it is interesting considering had Eastern Michigan not called that timeout, San Jose State was going to be happy punting that football away and pinning them back. And Brent Brennan saying, okay, defense is playing good and maybe a little too much time to think about it, and called the offense out there. It didn't work for him.
You know, in hindsight, it looks like a bad decision here for San Jose State. But if they pick up that first down, it's a brilliant decision,
absolutely.
right?
That's the way it goes. But by not getting it, they give Eastern Michigan the ball back in some great field position here.
Powell getting hit from behind and wrapped up. There's Rico Tollfree, number 16, with a loss of 9 on that sack.
What a great speed rush by Tollfree up at the top of your screen there. Watch him just run and dip the shoulder, come right underneath, run the hoop, get the shoulder squared back up. I mean, that's a textbook speed rush there. Get upfield, explode, dip that shoulder underneath the offensive lineman who doesn't want to bend down, get to the quarterback.
And this might be another reason, you alluded to this, why he went for it, because he trusts his defense right now. They're really playing well. Have all half. That's the third sack today for the San Jose defense. Powell stepping up. He'll drop it off. That is caught. That is going to be a first down and more, close to the 30-yard line for the tight end, Gunnar Oaks. The big tight end out of Ohio with a gain of 19.
I think that little last extra effort jump there by Oaks is what got it. And I thought Powell did a good job of just adjusting his feet in the pocket, stepping up into his left just a little bit. Didn't get too antsy back there and found Oaks.
When he jumped up in the air, Rico Tollfree landed on him, may have twisted his knee. So he wasn't able to get up. But that is a huge first down for Oaks. His second catch today, 27th of the year.
He just gets landed on. Not sure exactly what happened there. That was Tollfree who had the great sack earlier. I don't know if he got his leg twisted up or just the weight of his body coming down.
Going airborne got him the first down, or guaranteed that he was going to get the first down, but he paid the price for it. Looks like he's putting a pretty good weight on it coming off the field. So we hope he can continue. But here's Eastern Michigan again, getting close to the red zone.
Yeah, I just like what Taylor Powell did right there. Just a little bit of step up, a little step to his left. Just gave Oaks enough time to get free in the middle of the field.
Eastern Michigan, 3 punts here in the second half. Their offense hasn't been as efficient as it was in the first half. But when they have gotten into the red zone, they have taken care of business. Cap drives. They're 3 for 3 in the red zone. Jalen Jackson gets away. Goodbye. Touchdown. The number 2 running back behind Evans, Jalen Jackson. Just his second rushing touchdown of the year, but it's a huge one.
It just looks like, Jalen Jackson had been used a ton today. Comes in here late in the third quarter. San Jose State's defense is a little tired, a little beat up, and he's just got all the energy in the world and just pops this thing. I mean, same thing right up the middle. There's nothing going. I mean, they actually did a good job building the wall and splits about 4 blue shirts, spin move into the end zone.
They're going to go for 2 to try to make this a 21-point game. Why not? Jackson taking care of that as well. A 2-point conversion for Eastern Michigan. And it's now 41-20.
And I want to see this touchdown again. This is just fantastic. I mean, Jalen Jackson just explodes into the interior part of this line. Nothing going, but he keeps his feet going, keeps his vision going. Where's the crease? There it is. And then once he gets out, 1, 2, 3, 4 blue jerseys, the spin move, punches it in.
Take advantage of that short field. They only had to go 44 yards for the touchdown. Do you think Brent Brennan is second-guessing himself right now?
Absolutely is. You know, but even with that said, they were going to do, and here's just another look at a 2-point play. They spread the defense out and just hand the ball at the middle. But had it not been for Gunnar Oaks with that huge catch and run on, what was that, 3rd and 14,
right,
it's a different ball game. I mean, I don't think it's the decision as much as on a key 3rd and long, you got to find a way to get off the field and force them to punt. That was the absolute backbreaker.
Only the 4th third down conversion today for Eastern Michigan, but it was a big one. Final half minute here of the 3rd quarter. Eastern now with a 21-point lead as they try to win the program's 2nd bowl game. And San Jose State will start at the 25. Done.
Yeah, guys, let me tell you who was cheering the loudest for that touchdown. Samson Evans, who watched that entire drive from the sideline. He's been holding his left knee, trying to work that out. The one with the brace on, it's clearly bothering him. But I promise he was the first to congratulate the kid on his touchdown when he came off.
Oh. Again, he's still doing it, Don. Getting excited for his teammates here. Is playing pretty well here and trying to get their first bowl victory since 1987.
And you know darn well that they need him. If they get into a position where they can ice the game away, they're going to rely on the run game, and that's where Samson Evans really comes in.
Right, absolutely. When you need to just choose some clock, that's where he really comes up big. Although Jalen Jackson did a nice job right there running between the tackles as well.
San Jose State turned it over on downs near midfield on their last possession. On 1st down, Cordero is complete. Got it to Jermaine Braddock. His first catch, the 5th-year senior gets 25.
Number 79.
But it's coming back.
Penalty, 1st down.
Just another backbreaker. Jose Ramirez, it looked like it brought the pressure and forced the holding call.
Braddock, the 3rd leading receiver for San Jose State, but just the first time he has been active in the offense, and nice catch, goes for naught.
And Ramirez hasn't had a hugely impactful game, but in different spots, he's performed well. He forced an interception earlier with a little pressure in the face of Cordero.
Cordero on the draw gets a big chunk of that penalty yardage back, and 8 more to boot. Esperacio brings him down. It's going to be the final play of the 3rd quarter. Eastern Michigan. It's been 35 years since they've had a bowl win. The 4th quarter coming up. Eastern Michigan. They'd like a bite of a potato when this is all said and done. At the famous Idaho Potato Bowl, they don't do Gatorade for the winning coach. They give a fry bath. Welcome back to the famous Idaho Potato Bowl, part of Capital One Bowl Mania. They're getting it ready.
Here's our camera guy, Dirk, there trying to reach in and snag a couple fries.
I would too.
Heck yeah.
Those look good. I had a loaded baked potato at halftime.
You did.
Thought about more than one, just didn't have enough time. There's Nash again. We saw this in the first half. Direct snap to the wide receiver. Nash, the former quarterback, gets 6 and a 1st down for San Jose as we go down to Dawn.
Yeah, guys, this Eastern Michigan defense is trying to hold on for their defensive coordinator because after 29 years of coaching, Neil Nethery hanging up his headsets after this game. 20 of those years he spent with Coach Chris Creighton. This is their 224th game together today, guys. Their record 151-72, 6.77 win percentage. That's pretty good. Yeah. I talked to Coach earlier too, and before the game, and he couldn't even talk about his friend. Started to tear up. I said, "We'll talk after the game, Coach. This is not a good time," but you can see how close they are. And when I talked to Coach Nethery, he said, "You know what? I'm really going to remember this group of guys right here because they bought in so many changes in the middle of the year." He just said, "This has been such a great group, and what a perfect way to go out if they can hold on and win this one."
Yeah, Nethery, NAIA D3 FCS with Coach Creighton, good friends. It's tough, I'm sure, to hear from his friend, Neil Nethery, that he's going to retire.
Yeah, and I mean, this is something that was released, like last night, right? I mean, you know, made the decision. It's just felt it was time for him to, maybe pursue other endeavors.
He did say he wants to spend more time with his wife, guys. We have to throw that in.
Absolutely.
Priorities here. Yes.
Coaching and spending time with your family don't go together. It's one of those professions.
Second down and 4. Cordero is going to be sacked again. There's that defense of Neil Nethery getting home. Grant Truman, his second sack.
Tell you what, Grant Truman, a graduate, having a heck of a ball game. There he is down the bottom of your screen. Another nice bull rush, long arm technique. Walking the tackle back in the lap of the quarterback.
Neil Nethery has now reported 29 years in college coaching, and today's the day he's hanging it up.
And I think his boys have played real well today so far. There's still a lot of time on this clock, but done a good job.
There's Nash again. Boy, Nick Nash making a real contribution, the senior from Irvine, California.
It is amazing. You talked earlier about that rule the NCAA passed, just a week or so ago, that is going to allow him to play and not have to burn a year of eligibility. He's made a big impact.
This offense likes to move fast. They're moving with some tempo now. There's Cooks in the end zone, but in double coverage, it's batted away by Cameron Smith. Well, they went to the big play receiver, but Smith was there.
And watch Cameron Smith, who's a safety. Watch the amount of ground he's going to cover. Get into that deep look, just tracking, and then just pops that ball out of the hands of Elijah Cooks. An incredible job just covering a ton of ground. Look at the celebration as he's going over the Idaho Potato Bowl banner there. Love it.
Cameron Smith out of Cleveland, Ohio, first-year starter, having a nice game as Nick Nash makes another play. He's knocked it out of bounds at about the 22. That's an 8-yard play. Eastern Michigan says he didn't have possession, but they're going to call that a catch.
Roy on the field is completed catch. Third down.
I don't think there's any doubt he had that.
Yeah, of course he did, yeah.
Now, he was juggling it as he was pushed out of bounds, but the catch had already been made. But they are going to take a look at it anyway.
The completed catch is under further review.
So it'll be back in the hands of our replay official, Rick Jackson. And while he's looking at that, we're going to step aside. 11:43 to go here in Boise. Eastern Michigan by 21. San Jose State trying to come back in the famous Idaho Potato Bowl. Closing in on the red zone, Chevin Cordero. Over 2,900 yards passing this year. He's got 316 today and 2 touchdowns. Can he lead this comeback?
Huge play here. They got to get a touchdown here. Down 21, just under 12 to go.
Play stands. It was a completed catch. 3rd down and 2. It is Jernigan, and he's got the first down. Isaac Jernigan, sophomore from Bakersfield. Good catch and run.
It's a great job again catching him in man coverage. They tried to bring, couldn't see who that was, the defender over the top there. I think it was Sparacio, the linebacker, and Jernigan just faster.
Play number 10 of this series. Already covered 58 yards in 4 minutes. Cordero incomplete. And that one was trying to hit Hamilton. Pretty good coverage again by this Eagles secondary. This defense has really had a good day.
They really have. And we talked about it pregame. They had to be big, especially in the secondary, covering people up. They had a lot of great wide receivers for San Jose State. Cooks and Hamilton, Lockhart. Done a pretty nice job.
You know, they want their defensive coordinator to go out in style today, too. Jernigan goes in motion. Chevin Cordero running all over, throws to the end zone, had a man open for a moment, and it's incomplete. He wanted Nash, but then Joshua Scott closes quickly in the end zone.
And it looked like there might have been some early contact there by Joshua Scott. Don't see a penalty flag. There we go. And Scott was not able to get his. Wow, I mean, he got there.
Yeah,
he got there early.
You're right.
And again, had he had his head turned around looking at the quarterback, that's one thing there. But I think Eastern Michigan got away with one there.
Yeah, they can't review that.
Nope.
Kyrie Robinson in the backfield here on 3rd down and 10. Cordero trying to keep this drive going, and he's got the touchdown. How about that? Hits Hamilton for the score. And don't count San Jose out yet.
And it was a pick route. They ran a little crosser. Eastern Michigan was not able to pass it off. Great job by Hamilton, who had the big catch at the beginning of the game and now gets on the board with a touchdown. Weren't able to see it, but just looked like the two defenders, again, didn't pass that thing off there. You got to be on different levels to allow for those receivers to cross and not get tripped up. They weren't able to do it.
And the extra point is good for Shive. And it's 41-27.
San Jose State, again, not out of this thing. They needed a touchdown at this point in the game, and they got it. Isaiah Hamilton puts them back on the board.
The Famous Idaho Potato Bowl is brought to you by Famous Idaho Potatoes. Always look for the Grown in Idaho seal. And TaxAg. File for less and get more.
Rocky Boyman could eat that. There's no doubt in my mind. I've seen you eat all season long. And I don't know where you put it sometimes, but I think you could handle that giant potato.
It might take a day or two, that thing, but I give her a shot.
Claymatic, Rocky Boyman, Don Davenport, our great ESPN crew here in Boise. 10:57 to go, 4th quarter. And San Jose State has 468 yards total offense today. With that said, they're down 2 touchdowns. But there's still plenty of time for this offense, which has outscored Eastern Michigan in the second half. Seems like they're finding a little traction now.
They absolutely are. This offense, and again, it was just got a couple explosive offensive plays early in the start of this second half here. And ever since then, they've really carried that momentum. And now it's up to Taylor Powell, who I think has been fantastic today. It's up to him to just shut the door down. That's what a good quarterback does. Find a way to just close the door on a game. We'll see if he can do it.
Well, as Don reported, something's not right with Samson Evans. So they've Jalen Jackson in the backfield to start this drive. He, of course, scored a touchdown on the last possession for Eastern Michigan. He's going to be cut down, maybe face masked, as he tried to find the corner on the right side. Chase Williams, the safety, transfer from Southern Cal, may have committed the penalty.
Personal foul, face mask, defense, number 1. 15-yard penalty, an automatic first down.
Williams, the honorable mention, all Mountain West safety.
And that's a huge play right there for Eastern Michigan, because this thing was shut down. This is going to be for about a 1 or 2 yard loss here.
Please reset the game clock to 10 minutes, 52 seconds. 10:52 on the game clock, please.
And Jalen Jackson, who averages about 6-7 carries per game. his role increases significantly now as, again, Eastern Michigan has a 2-touchdown lead. They like to rely on that run game, especially in a situation like this where they can kill some clock.
Interesting to see if this offensive line that we've talked about all game, big boys, 300-pounders, 4 out of the 5 are all graduates, so they have a ton of experience. And they've really been the leader of this team. Let's see if they can shut it out here in the fourth quarter.
Taylor Powell, captain from Fayetteville, Arkansas, comes to the near side for Drummond, and he shakes loose into the secondary. Good catch, good run to the 43-yard line of San Jose State. Jordan Pollard got him to the sideline, but another first down for Eastern Michigan.
And Eastern Michigan may have to do this. They may have to throw the ball because on that play right there, San Jose State's defense brought a lot of pressure, run blitzes up the middle, try to stop that interior run game, so it might be up to Powell to find some one-on-one matchups on the outside, beat him with his arm. I don't think San Jose State's going to just sit back and allow him to just punch the ball up the middle and 3 and 4 yards a clip.
Taylor Powell, he won the starting job out of camp. Dealt with some injuries, though, at times this year. A little jet sweep this time for Eastern. That's Baydoun. That's going to be a reception for Baydoun, who hasn't been overly active today, their top pass catcher. But the Eagles have found other playmakers today.
Yeah, I just think without Evans in the game, and it looks like we may not see him, just having to get a little bit creative here.
And the run is going to be Jalen Jackson again, a first down. That's all they need to do at this point.
Yep. That's it. Just keep moving those chains. Let that clock tick away.
Turnovers have been so key in this game. 2 for San Jose State, just 6 coming into the day. Eastern turned it over once, but it really didn't affect them much at that point. Eastern has scored touchdowns on both of the San Jose State turnovers.
Powell letting this play clock tick down here.
Jackson will pick up about 5 on first down as Pollard makes the stop.
Hey guys, if you look at the first 7 weeks of this season, Eastern Michigan either tied or lost the turnover takeaway margin. Final 5 weeks of the year, they've flipped that. They've won that margin. Do it again today.
Yeah, that's a huge point you made there, Don, because, early in the season, that was their biggest detriment. They're turning it over, not getting any takeaways on defense, and they've found a way to completely turn that around.
Now taking that play clock inside of 5. Powell. There's Lassiter. The JUCO transfer has another first down. Very efficient drive here so far for Eastern Michigan.
Yep, efficient. Powell letting the clock tick away here. That's the name of the game. Pick up first downs and try to just ice this game away. Darius Lassiter, how about his day?
Over 100 yards, 2 touchdowns. Chandler, Arizona.
See some linebacker getting up in those A-gaps, trying to stop that interior run game for Eastern Michigan that's been so deadly all year.
Again, Powell milks the play clock, gives it to Jackson. He is spun around but stays on his feet and gets inside the 15 to the 14-yard line.
And just when you want to say Jalen Jackson, he's more of a perimeter guy and all that. I mean, he's gotten some tough yards up the middle. That great touchdown run he had was right up through those A-gaps, and another one there.
A touchdown would be devastating for San Jose State if Eastern Michigan can get in the end zone, but any points on this drive are really going to be detrimental to the Spartans' cause. This time is really working against them right now. San Jose State has all of its timeouts remaining, but too early to start calling them here. Play clock down to 1. Boy, they have been doing a great job milking that play clock as Jackson stumbles ahead close to another first down. It's going to be 3rd and 1 coming up.
I mean, he is like trying to catch a water bug up inside there.
Yeah, he's supposed to be their get him out in space guy, and he's been great between the tackles so far.
And look, right there's nowhere to go. That play's designed to go off to the right, and Feoko gets penetration and just the vision, seeing just a little crease off to the left, hits it, little juke and jive back and forth.
7 carries, 54 yards for Jackson. He has a rushing touchdown. 3 rushing touchdowns today for Eastern Michigan, but Evans comes back in. He's got it. He lowers his head for a first down, so that's good to see. Samson Evans healthy enough to come in here and convert on 3rd down.
Yeah, he does not look completely healthy. Doesn't look like the explosive guy we're used to seeing, but give that young man some credit. He's out there. He wants to try to ice this game away, dinged up or not.
Senior from Crystal Lake, Illinois. You really have to look back at his numbers when you try to understand how they beat Arizona State.
Yeah,
Week 3,
on his back.
It was on his back. He was outstanding. 36 carries, 258, and a touchdown. First down and goal. Ooh, that's a hard hit in the backfield. Evans, boy, just crunched by Fehoko. But look at Evans, able to get up to his feet. With that said, an offensive lineman is down for the Eagles. That's Richard Bates, the center. This has been a physical game here in Boise today.
And watch Feoko at the top of your screen just knife down inside. Penetration and just cuts down Evans, and who then got tied up into the legs of Bates.
We talked about that offensive line for Eastern Michigan. Bates is the only one who's not 300 pounds. I mean, it is a big physical offensive front. Bates is lighter, more athletic, but he's down right now. The senior from Kenner, Louisiana. What a job they have done this year, leading the way for that Eastern Michigan run game.
That's been the key. I mean, just we talked about their size and their experience.
So Dimitri Douglas, the backup center, will come in as Bates recovers. As Eastern Michigan tries to salt this game away, if they can get a touchdown here, it's likely lights out for the Spartans.
Yeah, I think a touchdown would do it, the way they've been able to bleed some time off this clock.
They've taken almost 6 minutes off the clock so far in this drive. 10th play coming up. Powell keeps it, tries to throw toward the end zone, and it's batted down. Kyle Harmon has been one of the bright spots for the San Jose State defense today.
And that's one where you go, okay, let's not get too cute here. Let's give the ball to Evans. And that was almost deadly play there. Coming in, able to get his hand on. You mentioned it, Clay. He's had a big impact on this game.
He's batted a few balls.
Yeah, yes.
That stops the clock with 4:46 to go. 3rd down and goal to go for Eastern Michigan. They've converted 5 of 12 on 3rd down today. #1 3rd down offense in the MAC this year. Evans behind Powell. Powell wants to throw to the end zone. It's underthrown and intercepted. Michael Dansby, the true freshman corner, picks it off. And San Jose State will get the touchback.
If you're Eastern Michigan, what are you doing here, right? I mean, just keep running the ball, at least settle for a field goal. Long drive, they chew a bunch of time off the clock. But now, still a 2-score game here.
Back in Idaho, San Jose State gets the ball back after they pick off Powell in the end zone. Only down a couple of touchdowns. And don't forget, fans, tune in to the ESPN app after the game for the Capital One post game immediately following the end of the contest. All right, so an opportunity here for San Jose State, who's had a great day on offense. 468 yards total offense. They've got to score. They've got to score quickly. Here's Chevin Cordero on 1st down. They'll get it to Nash, trying to spin away, and he does. That's a 1st down for Nash, as he gets 14 on that carry.
And what an impact Nash has had in this game. a couple weeks ago didn't even think he was going to be a part of it, right? Without that new rule the NCAA passed, allowing him to play and not burn a year.
Was the backup quarterback. Realized he could be a bigger help to this offense as a receiver. Moved there midseason. Having a nice day today. 4 catches, 51 yards. Cordero's going to go up top. Has a man, but he overthrew him. Jackson Kane, the tight end, was streaking down the sideline. Chase Klein in coverage.
It's interesting here seeing Elijah Cooks. He goes off the field. And that's the guy you want to have out there in this situation. Not going to be in there.
Well, they've got the quarterback to lead a comeback. There's nobody tougher, more competitive in the Mountain West.
And poised. That's what Brett Brennan said yesterday. He's such a poised quarterback.
He's going to hit Miller. Malachi Miller, the sophomore from Oakland, gets 8 as we go down to Dawn.
Yeah, you guys talk about that poise. I've seen it on the sideline. Honestly, the lack of outward emotion is what stands out to me. Poised, composed, calm. Nothing has fazed him, and I don't want that to be misunderstood that he's not into the game. He'll quietly fist bump a guy. He'll have a one-on-one conversation with a receiver. No panic from Chevin.
It's kind of like Joe Burrow. I watched him in my hometown of Cincinnati. Just always calm and cool. And like, God, is he really into this thing? He's into it. He's just doesn't let things get to him.
Well, he's going to be twisted down by Truman. I believe that's sack number 3 for Truman, unless they're going to rule that a run for Cordero. I believe they are. So, but Truman, again, another tackle for loss.
Yeah, bottom of your screen there. Good job sorting through the keep there. And
now it's 4th down.
Wow, clock ticking here.
And they're going to keep the offense out there. They have to. Down 2 touchdowns. 0 for 2 on 4th down today. Need to convert. And the pass is caught. That's going to be a 1st down. They had to have it. And, of course, they go to their key man, Elijah Cooks.
Had to, and that's the matchup of the game, right? Elijah Cooks over Kempton Shine. Kempton Shine just gave him a little bit too much cushion there. You know, you always got to be worried about getting beat deep by a big, fast, physical receiver like Cooks. He just needed a couple yards and got it.
San Jose State has all of its timeouts remaining. Cordero ducks away from the pressure, and he'll run out close to midfield, being chased by Chase Klein.
San Jose State still has those 3 timeouts, so haven't had to burn one of those yet. That's good.
Chevin Cordero, 2nd team All Mountain West. 23 starts in 4 years at Hawaii. He has been outstanding this year in his only season at San Jose State so far. Can he lead the comeback?
He snapped the ball here. Let's go.
They're burning some much-needed time. Cordero out of the pocket, throws on the run and off the hand of Miller. Can't bring it in. Incomplete. So now 3rd down and 6.
Yeah, just that throw got away from Cordero just a little bit. A bit of frustration there. You can see the hands on the hips.
Just think about what's at stake for both of these teams, Rocky. I mean, in the last 30 years, you can count on one hand the number of winning seasons San Jose State has had. Eastern Michigan, a down program for many years, trying to win just their 2nd bowl game in program history.
And that's what's at stake, taking that momentum into the offseason. There's Elijah Cooks, top of the screen, now crossing. Wow.
And it's intercepted. Picked off. Eastern Michigan coming back the other way. 3rd interception for the Eagles defense. Russell Vaden, the free safety.
And Vaden was just playing in that hole back there. Cordero did not even see. Trying to make a play is Russell Vaden jumping up into that throwing window and making a huge play. Eastern Michigan potentially going to ice this game away now.
San Jose State came into this game tied for the fewest turnovers in the country with USC at 6, but they turned it over 3 times today. Chevin Cordero just moments ago threw a 2nd interception, and that's about all she wrote.
Yeah, and you feel for Cordero. I mean, you can tell that's just, done such a good job taking care of the ball, and that was the difference. I mean, Brett Brennan said that was the single biggest reason they were able to have more successes this year than last year, not turning the ball over. Instead, they get it here.
San Jose State is going to call one of their 3 timeouts. Our unbeatable performance brought to us by Xfinity. And Jalen Jackson, that big touchdown run when Samson Evans was recuperating on the sideline, was a big statement run late in this football game.
It absolutely was, because if you're San Jose State, you're saying, okay, Samson Evans is hurt, probably not going to be able to just pound away at us. Instead, they bring in Jalen Jackson, the guy mostly known for, kind of hitting you on the perimeter. He runs right up the middle, spins out, breaks a couple tackles, and punches it in. That was a huge momentum play there for the Eagles.
Taylor Powell has passed for a career-high 298 yards today. I think he has done a really nice job.
He really has.
Handling this offense as well.
And look, let's be fair here. They got a little too cute there on their last drive around the end zone. Couple pass plays down there, and the one bit them. Gave San Jose State a chance, but they get the ball back here. I imagine it's going to be all runs.
And it's Samson Evans. And there's another timeout. 3rd down and short coming up for the Eagles. Yeah, real testament to Neil Nethery's defense. In his final game as a college coach, he's decided to hang it up after today. He's announced his retirement. After 29 years in coaching, his defense has really played well at key moments.
Absolutely. Yeah. Nothing bigger than, hey, San Jose State's looking at, hey, we're only down 2 scores. They got a explosive offense, and you get the big interception to shut it down.
There's Neil Nethery in the hooded sweatshirt. Asked him before the game what he's going to do. He said, I don't know, I'm going to take a couple of months to figure it out. I said, maybe high school coaching? He goes, no, I'm done. I'm done with coaching. Just wants to get away from it.
There's been a lot of coaches that have said that, right?
You'd think he may reconsider.
Look, if you're a coach, it's just in your blood. You love the culture. You love being around the kids. You love all the stuff, even the stuff that isn't necessarily that fun, all those hours that grind away. So I wouldn't be surprised to see him back at some level.
Oh, what a great second effort by Evans. And he got the 1st down.
Wow, that's it.
And a big smile from Samson Evans as Chris Creighton's Eagles move the chains.
He takes a shot and just keeps on going here. Bang! And so many times this year. He'll get hit in the backfield and it should be a tackle for loss, but he just has that knack that all great running backs have. You can take a shot. Look at that. 1st down. 25th carry for Evans. Again, always falling forward, always gaining positive yards.
Eastern Michigan into victory formation in a bowl game. And it's going to be their 2nd bowl win in program history. And their 1st since 1987, of course, when they beat San Jose State as 17-point underdogs. Taylor Powell, our Capital One player of the game, well-deserved.
Absolutely. And there's been about 3 or 4 throws he's made today that have been just exceptional. Putting it in a very, very tight window. And then, of course, there's, as we talked about, Neil Nethery, defensive coordinator, his final game. It's been a storybook season for Eastern Michigan.
Sports Center coming up, and so is the Capital One postgame show. The famous Idaho Potato Bowl is going to go to Eastern Michigan. There's the fry bath. 41-27, the final.
Well, there was a fry bath, but there was also the old-fashioned bath. Neil Nethery got it here. You gotta watch out, Coach. You know in your last game you're gonna get the green liquid. Love it.
41-27, the final. Coming up later on ESPN, the roofclaim.com Boca Raton Bowl. That does it from Boise. Eastern Michigan wins it. Goodbye, everybody.
Well, Coach, 35 years, and now another bowl trophy is going to your case. What does that mean for you and this program?
It means a ton. You know, it's our guys have believed, and we've kind of slowly but surely gotten better through the years. And our guys believe. They love each other and they believe. And I'm super, super, super happy for our guys and for this guy. How was that defense today, huh? Oh, I'm just so fired up.
Yeah, Coach Nethery hanging up the headphones. You guys have coached 20 years together. They forced 3 turnovers today. What does that man mean to you and the job that he's been able to do for this team this year?
I mean, they asked me for a quote last night, and I just laughed, right? I mean, how do you sum 26 years? Love you, brother. How do you sum 26 years of life together, families growing up and living together? You know, it's just, it's impossible other than I love him with all of my heart. I always will. And his whole family. I hope that everybody who lives on this earth at some point has a friend like Neil Nethery. I promise you that.
Congratulations, Coach. I'll let you go celebrate with him.
Welcome to the ESPN app post-game presented by Capital One. The festivities here in Boise about to begin, but first, this message. Clay Matvick, Rocky Boyman, Don Davenport back here at the famous Idaho Potato Bowl. Second bowl victory in program history for Eastern Michigan. And our Capital One rewarding performance comes from Darius Lassiter. He was outstanding, leading receiver for the Eagles, 6 catches, 108 yards, and 2 touchdowns.
He was huge today. I mean, coming in here, you know, he was probably about the 4th or 5th wide receiver, but made a huge impact in this game again. They really used his size, his length. 6'3" throws like this, he's able to go up and get it, and was a real difference maker for Eastern Michigan.
A JUCO transfer. Had to get it from somebody, and that guy was Taylor Powell, who had a career-high 298 yards through the air. Powell, a journeyman quarterback, started his career at Missouri, played a year at Troy, ends up at Eastern Michigan this season. He dealt to it.
He really did, and likely his last game as a football player, and he went out with a bang. I mean, he made some absolutely exceptional throws. He was really, really good and a big leader of this offense.
41-27, Eastern Michigan wins it here in Boise. Let's go to public address announcer Jeremy Patterson.
And fans, we direct your attention to the north end of the field for the famous Idaho Potato Bowl award ceremony with Executive Director Daniel Brazil, Idaho Potato Commission President and CEO Jamie Hyam, and ESPN's Don Davenport.
All right. I think this is a team and a program that is ready to celebrate, huh? You first. Let's talk to this guy. How about put your hands together for the MVP of the famous Idaho Potato Bowl, Taylor Powell. Taylor, I got to talk to you this week. I see the emotion. It has been a journey for you on this career. What does it mean to finish off your college career like this?
when I came here, I wanted to do something special, do something, change the university's culture and trajectory of where this program's going. I'm only here for a year, but this program's going to be a lot different from now on, and championships are expected.
There's your captain, Taylor Powell. Congratulations on a great performance. Coach, come on over here. So I heard through the grapevine that you guys have this trophy case there. Need some trophies. What does it mean to be able to put this one in that trophy case?
It's going to mean a lot. There's no doubt. You know, these guys are unbelievable people. They're obviously great football players, and we're a true team. On October 29th, we essentially got knocked out of our primary goal of winning a MAC championship, and they didn't break. They stuck with our theme and lived it, and have now won 4 straight since that really, really tough moment, and have tied for a conference West Side championship, won the Michigan MAC, and now have come into the great state of Idaho and won the Idaho Potato Bowl. So it's good stuff.
Coach, your MVP, Taylor Powell, what'd you see from him today and really during preparation for this bowl game?
Well, he prepares just like all of these guys. He loves football. He's so serious about it. And so there's not a day that goes by that he's not putting in extra work trying to get better. But he's one of all of us, and he'll be the first to tell you that. He played great today. He played free and led us, and I'm super proud of him.
Last question, Neil Nethery, hanging up his headsets. This defense performed today. What does he mean to this program?
How about that defense?
There you go. Eastern Michigan, your famous Idaho Potato Bowl champions.
I do want to say one thing, because this is big for all of our seniors who are going to be graduating and moving on, and for Coach Nethery, who's put 7 years of his life into this program. And we all do, in this moment, want to say that Coach Reed is on our hearts and in our minds. And I promise you, he's smiling right now.
Congratulations, Coach. Hoist that trophy.
Here we go. Let's go. Congratulations.
College football afterthought, and he has brought the program back to life. He alluded to the late assistant coach Fred Reed there in his post-game comments as he passed away back in May. So many things that this team wanted to win for today here in Idaho, not the least of which winning the second bowl game in program history. It took 35 years, but they get another bowl trophy. And the famous Idaho Potato Bowl belongs to Eastern Michigan. The Eagles win 9 games, second most in a single season in team history. They won 10 in '87. They get it done today in Boise. Happy holidays, everyone.